This video contains subject matter that may be offensive and disturbing to some people. If you are the type to require a warning throughout a video or show, let this message serve as your warning. This channel discusses the harsh reality of true crime. If this warning is not sufficient for you, consider a different genre and unsubscribe from my channel immediately.
Yo, what's going on? Yeah, somebody sent me a email. I guess they sent, I mean, let me ask you something. Sometimes when people send in PayPals, they're not necessarily, I mean, I don't know if they're getting a notebook or not, right? I mean, some people don't, they're not sending it to get the notebook, but some people are. But somebody sent in, they showed me that they sent it in and they go, lesson learned. I'm never, you know, it's like, what have I told you about the notebooks? Currently, they are, I ordered a whole new batch of them. And they're supposed to be here, I just found out they're going to be here on the 16th. That's the scheduled delivery date. And I've got a list over here, okay? And it's been a long time since I've had them. I'm just getting so disillusioned, you know, with just people. You know, what was it? It said, not kind of ridiculous, ridiculous, lesson learned. And I'm like, what do you mean? I have a whole list here of people that ordered them way back in December, but I was out of notebooks, and then you have to order a whole new batch, and I wanted to find a better batch of sturdier ones with 80 pages. Okay, so I don't really know what's going on, you know, like, it's really frustrating. I don't know if she wanted 4 notebooks or 3 or what, but, you know, as soon as I get them, boy, I'm going to be sending them out, I can tell you that. I've been waiting to send them out. Now, if you're somebody that you ordered one, make sure to let me know that you ordered one in the past, because like some nights when PayPals are coming in for, you know, like a $35 one, it doesn't say, hey, this is for the notebook or something. I don't know what, you know, I don't assume that it's for the notebook. You know, like you have to type it in, that notebook and thank you or whatever the hell, you know, just... Yeah, maybe I'll find the old one. I don't know. It just it's frustrating, you know. I don't know. I try my best to be. I mean, I think I forget it. I just can't do it. Yeah, don't worry though. They're coming. I'm sure when you get it now, you can crumble them up and burn it in a fireplace. All right. No, a secretary isn't going to help out anything. I don't have, the notebooks have been ordered for like a month now. Easy. I just called him, not called, I emailed the person yesterday and they said on the 16th is when they're supposed to be here. I mean, I don't know, man. I give back thousands of dollars in merchandise to people just on the shows, to the freaks. And then people buy some notebooks, and, you know, we also give a ton of money to various charities. And people always go, well, you're sending other people's money to charity, Gray. You're sending other people's money to charity. Well, no. I mean, so what you're saying is all of you who have a job, when you send money to charity, you're sending somebody else's money to charity, right? Because somebody bought the items that paid your salary somewhere. Or a service or something. So apparently you are all giving somebody else's money to charity. Welcome, Nicole Rico. Boom. Thank you, Elaine Talling. I don't know what you call it. It's just strange to get an email like that. You know, it's disheartening. Yeah. So, anyways, we'll see. It's just. Yep. All right, let me just get going here. All right, so in the Athena Brownfield case, we have some tweets out here that have information in them. Just a second. So it says, court docs, murder, neglect complaints against second child caregiver. Let's see. Newly filed arrest documents in Arizona show the second caregiver in the case of missing Oklahoma 4-year-old Athena Brownfield was arrested on warrant for murder in the first degree and child neglect. Officials say 4-year-old Athena Brownfield was reported missing at around 2 p.m. Tuesday afternoon near the 200 block of West Nebraska in Surreal after her 5-year-old sister was found wandering the neighborhood by a postal worker. On Thursday afternoon, Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation agents announced the arrest of Alyssa Adams, who was allegedly one of Athena's caregivers at the time of her disappearance. Adams was arrested on 2 complaints of child neglect. Here's the other guy right here. Looks like a wrestler. He was booked in the Maricopa County Jail and is waiting extradition to Oklahoma. So on Friday, authorities confirmed that Adams' husband, Yvonne Adams, was arrested in Phoenix, Arizona. He was booked in Maricopa County Jail and awaiting extradition to Oklahoma. According to the initial court filings, Ivan Adams was arrested on outstanding felony warrant for pending murder in first degree and child neglect. So I think that's regarding this case. It says pending murder in the first degree and child neglect. So here's what I think happened. After arresting this woman right here, she told them what happened. That's why she bailed, probably. Like, this guy killed somebody. Then she took off, and then she was arrested first, and then spilled the beans. And then this guy was arrested on first-degree murder, and she's the witness. Ivan Adams waived his right to an extradition hearing during his first court appearance in Arizona. Hey, thank you, Zany Hostetler. Sorry if I said it wrong. I'm sure I'll get an email. God, Grant, I come here all the time, and you said... Not you. I'm just pretending somebody would complain. A lot of whiners on social media about everything.
If you choose to waive your right to an extradition hearing, you would be held non-bondable in Maricopa County Jail for a period of up to 30 days to allow time for Oklahoma to come for you. That 30 days would start tomorrow as long as you do not have any criminal charges pending against you anywhere in Arizona. If you do have criminal charges pending against you in Arizona, the 30-day period would not start until those charges are resolved. If you choose to have an extradition hearing, I will set a hearing date for you. I cannot appoint an attorney to represent you because extradition matters are civil in nature, but you would have the right to hire a lawyer at your own expense. You are entitled to bail in this case. Your bail in this case is $1 million cash.
Wow.
If you're unable to post your bail, you would be held in custody during that time or until another judge modifies your bail. A governor's warrant signed by the governors of both states is required to extradite you to Oklahoma, and that process could take
just a lot of
up to
negativity
90
out
days.
there, Cindy. A lot of negativity.
So what I need to know from you is which way you want to proceed. So
I want to get there and take care of it.
that does not mean that warrant goes away. It just means we're not going to hold you for more than 30 days. Your mind with that one, if you decide at that time, you know what, I don't want to wait. I don't want to have a.
Anyways, I mean, he's been charged. So this case is, going to be wrapped up now. It's, just basically trying to find the child. I don't think they've found the child yet.
Chewbacca? Oh, I'll do Chewbacca if you want me to.
Why so blue-gray?
I don't know. Just gets so old. All the Reddit shit, just everything out there. And then you get an email like this on top of it, whining and bitching and complaining. And I just do everything that I can all the time for everybody, but it's just never enough for some. So just is what it is. And now we got people jumping in on the Delphi case, the crazy conspiracy nutters, so it's just it's not good. Thank you, the Mike D Experience. Thank you. That's just
Chewbacca? Oh, I'll do Chewbacca if you want me to.
Thank you, Jody. Let's see. She was reported missing at 2 p.m. Tuesday afternoon. Right, I mean, she was reported missing, but remember right before that, the other kid was walking around the street. I think Athena was her name. I don't think there's anything different other than that. I think we kind of figured it out the first night, right? I mean, the two people left, and then the two people were found because they know they killed somebody. Like a little girl got murdered, so of course they knew at that point that. I mean, she disappeared, so she's not alive. They knew though that she was dead. That's why they both left town, and then they took their 4 kids with them. So it's pretty obvious right from the beginning what the hell happened in this case. Okay, I'm going to skip over now to... How come we already have phone calls? I haven't even... 445, you're on. It's going to be a long time before I got to you, so I thought I'd...
How you doing, Greg?
What's going on? I wasn't even looking for phone calls yet.
Yeah, my bad. But you didn't want anybody calling? Want me to call back later?
Well, no, you can call in, but the number's on the screen so that... Because I was going to go through... I wasn't even going to take calls for another hour or so.
How about this? Yeah, I'll just call back in an hour. Do your thing, I'll just call back. Okay, bud?
Well, you can just say what you want to say now that you're on. I took the time to answer the call.
No, it's okay. Just do your articles, read good articles. Call back.
Okay, yeah, just read through the article. Okay.
All right. Sounds like a plan. All right, later, brother.
Oh, sorry, I didn't have it on the air. So that was Brian again. I was just doing something else. I wasn't talking about. I wasn't even taking calls yet. I just have it up there because it's up there. I mean, yeah, if you want to be on hold for an hour or so, that's fine. Oh, check it out though. Look at this crazy thing. They found this right here in Oregon. Look at the weird. It was out in the desert.
I'll ride that Georgina.
What do you think that is? It looks like a
Ocean
male,
wave.
like some kind of I don't know, old stone skull of some sort. Somebody saw the joke already. Darn it. Yeah, it's actually, this is what happens on social media is what I was trying to show you guys. It's actually just a milk jug, okay? Yeah, so it's just a milk jug, and I was on social media, but I was thinking how similar this is to a lot of the things that happen in cases. We get these YouTubers out there that they'll zoom in on something and they'll tell you, "Oh my God, look at it, look at it," and it really isn't that at all. Okay. So, but sure, if you like, to tell you what though, look at that first one when you zoomed in on it, man. It really it looks more like one without being zoomed in though. That's the thing. Yeah, so that's what happens. Social media, they zoom in on those kind of things and make whole videos about it. And the entire premise itself wasn't even accurate. So thank you, Cindy Lean, Kathy Friedmaker, Georgina Stoliker, Kubi, Jody William, and the Mike D Experience, and Cindy Lean, and Georgina Stoliker, and hey, thank you so much, Alley Cake. So I'm letting you know that, right, though, if you ordered a notebook a while ago and you don't think that, it's possible I didn't see it. I don't want to miss anybody, but if you don't put that you're ordering a notebook, then I don't know, right? So that's one of the issues, I guess. I wish I had a way that you could just order them. Hey, thank you so much, Alley Cake. I think my brain saw that twice. I was like, wait. There it is. There it is. I made that one. Okay.
Gray, you do so much and you are appreciated by so many of us. You have personally helped me through many tough times by doing your show and your funny, sarcastic humor.
Oh, thank you. I get those emails a lot, the ones that say, your show. Somebody just today said that they do coding and they spend a lot of hours coding, programming at night, and they listen to the show and it gets them through that. And, so it is a good feeling, but there's just so many negative, assholes out there, it's just, it never ends. Like if you go onto Reddit, none of you would like me at all. Like, you would think I was one of the worst people that this planet has to offer. Like, literally, you'd go over to Reddit and you'd say to yourself, wow, this guy is horrific. Like I told you last night. And you read it and it's just really, it's so disheartening to see other people pile on agreeing and believing in shit that I know, because I'm me, that is completely bogus, So I don't know. That's the part that gets me down, and that's one of the things that you have to deal with when you have a YouTube channel, though, or social media presence of some sort. But it's just not really fun, right? Yeah, but it's just it's bizarre, And these are the psycho types. They're like borderline stalkers, right? They just sit there and every day, what can we do today? It's surreal, really. So, anyways, we're going to switch over to... So, Richard Allen was back in court today. The Delphi, Indiana double murder trial will stay local. That's what was decided on. It's going to stay in Carroll County, but with a jury brought in from another county. That makes sense, right? Because then it allows... why should the family members and everybody have to travel? Just bring the jury in from outside. That's all you need is a jury that isn't right from there. So they brought in from another county. Allen County Judge Fran Gull said Friday. Well, I only go there because people send me a link or something. Like, oh, great, look at this. And then I end up just deleting all the comments. Because I try to reply to people, but then it's like, God, it's just such a waste of time. Nobody's going to care. Thanks, Ben Hills. And no matter what you say, they don't believe you. So
it's not worth it.
They always have a rebuttal. And it's always an inaccurate rebuttal, but people go, yeah, that's what I think too. Thanks, Ben Hills and Carly S.
Hey Gray, I love your show. I've been watching for a few years on replay.
Oh, cool. That's very cool. Thanks. All about the shade. It's almost like they're hell bent on trying to like get a channel shut down that without it there wouldn't be the $62,000 that got sent in last year. It wouldn't even be close. So I'm trying to figure out
Don't chat much,
like what's their
but
goal.
listen nightly.
Like they don't like that
Appreciate
part.
all you do.
Oh, we love that part, Ray. You just shouldn't get anything. Right. And you know, and then they complain that I say we. Like if I said, "Hey, yeah, people send in super chats, help support the channel, and then we donate." When I say we because it's income from this channel, and it feels like we're all part of like the same team or something, right? But don't mistake anything. It's coming out of my income, all right? It's not like screw it. God, I just hate having to even spend a second talking about this shit. They just parse everything you say. It's unbelievable. You can't even. I mean, they're the classic bullies. That's exactly what goes on over there. You get 3 or 4 people, and then they got a whole bunch, like 10, 20, 30 of them just ganging up, all just saying the same thing over and over and over again. And I'll tell you what, here's what I'll give you a challenge. Go over to Reddit, read what they're saying, and if you believe what they're saying, don't ever come back here again, okay? I really don't want you around, okay? And that's the truth. If you believe what they're saying, don't come here, because that means you're dumb as a box of rocks, okay? Yeah, you don't have to go there, but if you do go there and you actually agree, then don't come back here. Yeah, that's probably what it is. 8675309. Yeah, you don't have to do it. I'm just saying. All right. Anyways, God, I appreciate you guys listening to me for a few minutes. You know, it's just sometimes you guys are the ones that I talk to about this stuff, because it's, you know, we hang out every single day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Oh wait, I gotta go check something. Misty sent me something about another case. Let me reply back. Hold on. Yeah, so she said, "Hey, superhero, Flint, Michigan called me today. They have an unidentified male they're looking for funding for. I can get you the case information on it to decide when they respond to my email." So there's another one. Another case. Wait a minute. Hold on just a second. Hello? Are you back out here again? Hello? Brian.
How you doing, Brad?
You called him again just to sit on hold? What's going on?
Don't read the crap, Gray. You are respected for all you do.
I think you got silence. Oh wait, yours says original sound. Are you still there, Brian? Oh.
I'm just taking you off speaker.
Oh yeah. Well, what's going on?
Okay. So what? Yeah, I just want to talk to you about the Delphi case you're talking about right now.
Uh-huh.
When's he due back in court, Richard Allen?
Well, he was in there today, so I don't know when the next one is, but.
Okay. Did he plead guilty or not guilty yet?
I'm not sure they've done that. I think he's claiming that he's already said he's not guilty.
Yeah, and
attorneys
here's
said
my
that.
thing about the Idaho 4 case. I think the killer's going to take a deal. Because if he goes to trial, he's going to get the death penalty.
Oh,
And
yeah?
if the families want the death penalty, I think they should offer him a deal. Like, yo, take the deal. Why would he put these families through a trial? This guy's just the probable cause is enough beyond the reasonable doubt to me.
New case
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
wave.
I mean, he, you
But
know,
the way-
we probably wouldn't. I mean, you go to trial and he wouldn't mind looking at that stuff though.
Yeah. But the family shouldn't have to go to trial and live through that horror again. And if he does that, that just shows you he's a psychopath. He doesn't care. To put the family through that, he already killed their. Because I believe he did it.
Yeah, well, he is a psycho.
Yeah, I just love your show. Like I said, I agree with you 100% of the time. You remind me of my grandfather. He's just a straight shooter, sticks to the facts. I like that about you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm
He
just
was
gonna
cool
read
with
through.
donating money.
Yeah.
Donating money to charity, you and the freaks. Like I said, no other YouTuber or true crime channel does that. You know why? Because they're greedy. Like, you're not greedy, and I respect your character.
Well, I appreciate that. The thing is like, if I make any money at all, like let's say I made $100,000 a year, like I took
Off your
home.
channel.
Let's say I
Yeah.
took home $100,000, and I
Yeah,
donated 62,000 of the other, like the total income too.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying. Let's say I brought in $200,000. I donated 62,000, and I got 100 myself for spending 8 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
Yeah, and the
Would
bottom
that be
line is
really
great.
greedy, or is that like, wow, that's actually a pretty good percentage of your income?
Great. The bottom line is you could keep all that money.
I
You
know,
don't have
that
to
was-
donate money to charity.
Yeah.
Exactly, but you do that because it makes you feel good because you're a good guy.
Yeah, it does feel good.
It's just that simple. And like I said, tell your wife she's lucky to have you. You're a great guy. I can just tell that by your character, by listening to your show the last like 8
Well,
months.
sometimes
Yeah.
when I leave something, like crap sitting around on the counter, she probably doesn't agree.
Yeah,
with that,
I just love when you call people out because because like I said, you know a lot. You're book smart and you have common sense.
yeah.
And see, I have common sense, but no, I'm not that book smart, so I only have a high school diploma. And you went to college, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you and
Did you
Joey
do
should call in at the same time.
Yeah. Did you do anything after college?
Well, see, after... what do you mean? Well, yeah, I'm still... Like, after college, I went to... Well, let's see. Right after college, I couldn't find anything to do, so I worked at Nordstrom's in the stock room for 2 years, but I get to sell clothes during the sales, and then after that, I went as a truck broker, and I sucked at that. And then I was just so down and out. My parents said, "Gray, you need to have a skill, okay? You need to have."
That is true.
She said, "You need a skill that's marketable." So I dropped everything. Hold on one second. Hey, thank you,
Take your time.
Alifarium and Sherlock Hemlock up there. Wasn't expecting calls, so I had this thing turned on the audio.
Yeah.
Hold on a second.
Hey, they're great. Hang in there. We know how crazy it gets out.
I love how the freaks donate to your channel every night, man. You and the freaks are doing great things, Gray.
Yeah, it's really cool how they.
It is cool.
Take
Like,
care of me.
like you said, it feels like everybody's part of it. We're all helping the cause. Like we're helping try to solve
you're helping
cases
me
and donating money to that.
Yeah, and you're also helping me, allow me to keep doing this all the time, and then we're just doing all this stuff. I don't know, it's pretty crazy, but well, let me just go. So I was going to tell you though, I think something really important out there is though, after I was struggling around, just have a degree in communications which is virtually useless, although it's weird how I've come full circle back to that. But I just couldn't find anything, so they sent me. They just go, "You need a marketable skill, Gray." So I went to this place called Columbia College of Business, just one of those dumb, like Trend College type thing.
Is it in Oregon?
Yeah, well, it's in Oregon, but it's just one of those places you go to, like it's in a shopping mall, where you go in there and you can get this little... but here's what it was. It was 6 months, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week of learning tons of different... it was crazy. It was like it taught me how to use Excel, or I think it was... I think it was Excel or Lotus. I can't remember at the time, but it was just all these different programs.
Was it hard?
Yeah, it was pretty hard, and it was like there was people there that didn't take it seriously. But I got.
If you don't mind me asking, did you get good grades in school?
I got good grades my last year or so of college, because before that I really didn't care.
Because it seems like you have a pretty high IQ score. If you took an IQ score test, what would you score? Because you seem pretty intelligent.
Well, I don't know what I score on. I did one time. I did one of those online ones and did pretty good. But what I was saying was I did.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really care about school until I was like 22, 23 years old. And then all of a sudden I was like, wow, this is sort of interesting. Then I got really good grades. And then at that Columbia College of Business I went to, I got a 4.0. I mean, I was like,
that's awesome.
Then I started working at this bank,
Good for you.
using that. But then after that, I thought, well, shit, I started doing 3D animations and presentations at the bank. So then I went to the Art Institute.
Make great models.
I went to the Art Institute for 2 years in Portland here for animation and media arts. That's where I learned 3D Studio Max. And, I was on the dean's list there because now I'm interested in learning something. That was an actual college. And then I left after 2 years to start a videography company. That didn't really do very well. But, and started doing all these other, I learned how to do, because I had computer skills now, I could do anything I really wanted with computers. So I learned how to do Python. I learned how to program in Python just by watching YouTube videos. And then that helped me work for some of my friends doing at their companies, and one of them just keeps bringing me along wherever he goes. You did
the one case with the elevator, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Because like I said, I think other channels should use your video and give you some love. That's serious, because you do great work. That Idaho 4 house you did was amazing. My brother Thomas watched it and he said, "Oh my God, it was amazing."
Yeah, well, I'm still working on I've got to make my theory video.
Yeah,
there's going to be two of them. It's going to be one where it's Zayna, Ethan, Madison, Kaylee, and then back to Kaylee or to Zayna one more time because she was on the bed and then she got attacked, knocked on the ground. That's the thud that he left. That's one of them. The other one is he came in, went upstairs first, came down, interrupted. Ethan's just walking out and spotted him coming down the stairs. And then that's when the attack happened, and they get attacked, killed in the room. Then he leaves. So it's just that one's just Madison, Kaylee, then Zayna and Ethan. Then he leaves. That's the second one. Gonna make both of those. So, you still there?
He was gonna strike. He was gonna strike again. This guy.
Well, that's what.
Right?
Yeah, it could have been. Yeah, I think. That's what Sarah was saying last night.
Because he just looks like a sicko. Thank God they caught him.
Yeah.
Well, I'll let you go, get the next call or whatever. I just want to say you and the freaks are doing great things and have a good night, okay, bro?
All right, man. Have a good one. Thanks for the...
All right, you too. Bye-bye.
All right, see you.
All
right. All right, Brian. Thanks. And thank you up there to Zero and Alifair M again and Sherlock Hemlock. I always like that name. Anyways, thank you guys. I really appreciate it. But yeah, it's kind of a pretty weird, almost like an eclectic history. Some of it doesn't really even make any sense. A trucking broker. Let's see, a stockroom to trucking broker to unemployed learning all new skills for 6 months. Then after that, working at a mortgage company, at a credit union, then at First Consumers National Bank, which was the first salvo in the financial collapse companies. Worked there, and then from there went to the Art Institute. 2 years from there, then right from there started a videography company. Didn't really do well, but I was working. Then I got regular work using my skills, learning Python, and then I'm still do that right now. But all the skills that I learned allow me to make the 3D models and stuff that I use to make videos, and then I figured, just having sort of an analytical mind combined with those skills seemed to found a little niche for me. And then the experience we've had over the years covering so many different cases makes you kind of an experienced person in the true crime world, right? Yeah. Yeah. So like earlier, people were talking about it it doesn't really matter what we were talking about before, but wait, is that she back here? I haven't seen Ferragamo. Are you back in here? I haven't seen you in a while. Diane, Tosh, or Ferrazano, I mean. Ferrazano. I don't think can I see you? There's a couple of Toshes. We got a Tosh and a... what are you guys talking about? Oh boy. What the hell's going on in here? What's going on in the chat? Can we just screw your little petty arguments back and forth and just do the true crime? Listen maybe? Yeah. All right, it's painfully clear that it would be impossible to find a jury in Carroll County not involved in this case, Gold said at a hearing for suspect Richard Allen. Gold said it makes sense to keep the trial in Carroll County, where witnesses and families live, saying the expense to move the proceedings would be extraordinary. Allen's attorneys had requested a change of venue for high-profile trial. Gold asked the defense and prosecution to agree within a week on a county where they can source a jury. Allen, wearing a yellow jumpsuit, protective vest, and handcuff, and a YouTuber started yelling again. It's just, I'm glad that everybody, oh, that's okay, because it isn't though. It's just childish shit. Never has any effect at all. The person in the background going, "Hi! Why'd you do it, Richard?" Does that really ever do anything? Do they ever turn and, very rarely they turn and say, "Well, because," that's probably like 1 in a billion when that happens. Okay? Allen, wearing a yellow jumpsuit, protective vest, and handcuffs, as he was escorted into the court Friday morning, mouthed, "I love you," to two women who were holding hands, probably his daughter and his wife, in the front row behind the defense. Allen will return to court on February 17th for a bond hearing and to set a trial date. Gold said he doesn't anticipate the trial will begin in March, as initially, this isn't going to go to trial for, I'd be shocked if it was even in 2023. These kind of things, they just keep going and going and going. Gold called the discovery in the case extraordinarily voluminous. Wow, okay, well, there you go. Allen was arrested in October 2022 and charged with 2 counts of murder for the February 2017 killings of Abby and Libby. Allen had pleaded not guilty. So he pled not guilty. There we go. Abby and Libby, who were best friends, were on a hiking trail in the small town of Delphi when they were killed. Yeah. While the girls were on the trail that day, one of them said gun. You know what's weird is I said that somebody said that it was Abby said, "He's got a gun." That's a gun. He's got a gun about 4 years ago. But now it's a story. Well, I guess, now it's proven, But it's amazing how, like, we knew so much and so many little pieces of information for a long time, comparatively. Yeah, I went over there and I said, "Oh man, you're not going to cover this case, are you?" And the people go, "Greg, get out of here, you troll! It's like, no. All right, 413, you're on.
Hey, Greg.
Hello.
Thank you. I'm going to turn mine off. 1 second.
Who's this?
Greg, it's Danny Donovan up here in Boulder.
Hey, what's going on?
Checking in. Hey, I haven't spoke to you in a few weeks, but I'm checking in to say hello.
Hey, well, what's going on?
Can you hear me okay?
Yep, I can hear you.
Yeah, all the cases, that I follow, your channel is one of the very best. And, these crimes don't intrigue me. The lack of justice, I think, is what motivates me in some of these things. And, like when the first one was the O.J. Simpson case, that almost blew my mind, right? When that verdict came back, I remember the day there, and I just was, very horribly, I felt horrible. The lack of justice, it bothers me. So then it was John Bonet the year later, 96. And, that really shook me up. Remember we had Court TV at the time? We were starting to get that, and then watching Court TV. Now we have channels like yours that are even better. And but I want to tell a quick story that about John Bonet. I live in Boulder now, and I moved here from Massachusetts in 2009. So the first thing I did when I got here was try to go up and see where the John Bonet kid was killed, and where they lived. And so I'm still here in Boulder, and one winter day, it was a few years ago, I took my bike up to Flagstaff. There's a big, huge mountain. Right where the house is, there's a huge mountain. It's about 4.5 miles up. It's a very steep climb. It's like the Lap d'Huez, in the Tour de France, those real steep climbs. And I love to climb, and that's one of my extensive workouts there. So I climbed up to the top, came down, and it takes you quite a while to get up. I was at the very top, turned around, came down, and I was coming down by Chicago, they call it. It's a theater there right at the bottom of the hill. And this dump truck pulls out, and he's blowing a bunch of smoke out. Now my lugs are clean, I'm coming off of this beautiful ride. So I took a quick left, and I went down the street, 17th, and I found myself in the front of John Bonet's house. And you know what day it was? December 26th. That's my brother's birthday, actually. My brother died, he was born on the 26th of December, and I think I was out that day on a tribute to him. It was a beautiful day. Sometimes it gets 70 here in the winter. I found myself in front of John Bonet's house, and it struck me, what am I doing here? And there was actually some people there. And they said, hi, because they thought I went there to congregate. But there was a little collection of people. I think a lot of people still go to the house up there. They actually changed the number of the house. Officially, they changed the number because people try to find it, like I did when I first came here. I tried to find it, and I couldn't. But I thought, there it is. But they did change the number. But, that's a long story. But then, I'm still here in Boulder. And then Barry Morphew killed his wife, Suzanne, allegedly. Barry Morphew. I don't know if you've covered that one as much as some of the other creators. But I went down to Salida. I found Barry, my Mustang. I got it on film. I pulled him over. He was in the Bronco. He was driving the Bronco, doing some construction work. Oh, I'm telling you, my point is that I get roped up, in this crime thing. And I'm not a fanatic with it. It's just that that's an unsolved crime. Then when he got arrested, oh my God, it was awesome that he went to jail for about 3 or 4 months. But, they let those charges go because they don't have enough. The DA screwed up that case. And she got admonished, and they took a lot of the evidence away because of the discovery rules that were violated, that guy got out. So they dropped those charges. But I was on YouTube, and I was down there. I had gone down 2-3 times. I took some videos down there of the crime scene, and a lot of people were intrigued by the footage that I got. But, he's out. So there's the lack of justice. That prick is out. We were so happy he was in jail.
Yeah.
And,
wow, I wonder what the deal was there. There must have been something kind of like egregious that happened.
Well, yeah, the DA left out the digital evidence. She held that evidence close to her vest, and the defense was supposed to get it. They should have just given them everything, and normally that's no problem. But for some reason, that woman, Linda Stanley, the DA there, he held on to some stuff. She actually did kind of blatantly violate the rules of law. So we thought the judge was just going to say, okay, let's give him another 30 days. We can push the trial ahead to give the defense time to look at the evidence. She found, oh, no, you need more digital, I guess it was some digital discs and stuff that had data from the phone records and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So the judge says, okay, no problem. He threw that evidence out. So she could no longer bring the crucial evidence. That's like taking the DNA out of the brain. Okay.
Well, why did they throw it completely out? I don't really get it.
I don't know that. Well, that judge got in trouble too, and he retired. That was a bad move on his part. He threw out the most critical evidence, and the woman that said you essentially it's tantamount to a dismissal, and that's what they had to do. But here's the thing: they let the charges go with no prejudice, I guess, so they can arrest him again. I think they're going to arrest him again. I think the FBI is involved in that case, and they're not going to let it go. They're strengthening the case a little bit. They had enough evidence. They had his cell phone. He was running around the yard at the very time of her murder range, and he was chasing around with a dart gun, I think. Shot her with a dart, and it tranquilized her. And he had darts.
Yeah.
He uses them on deer and other animals to get their horns and stuff. But anyhow, there's a lack of justice that gets me riled up. Lack of justice, and you're on your show and you're talking about these cases. And, this Richard Allen prick, well, they're good. Finally, some shit's coming our way. We're getting some justice. Those girls, we love, America, the whole entire globe is touched by the loss of those two girls. And I'm a father of a 30-year-old girl, and I can only imagine what these parents have gone through, and not John Bonet's parents. That's a different story.
It's weird how long justice takes sometimes. It's just, that's the part. I mean, even then when there's arrest made, you just sit around and wait and wait and wait and wait.
I know, and I think I made a comment on your show one other time that justice will circle around. Not on John Bonet's parents. I have my opinions about that. John Ramsey, is not an innocent man, in my opinion. So I'm not sympathizing for him. I'm sympathizing for the parents of these crimes. The girls, and in this case, all four, and all of their family and their brother and sisters and their parents. And right now, but the good thing about this case, in Idaho, we're going to get justice. So justice came. We got that guy, and they have a very good case. And so that's my little feelings for your viewers. And one more thing I wanted to add. You and I had talked a little bit early before the arrest. I had some theories. We all got our theories, and I love to hear it all. The one thing I keep thinking about, those back bushes. He apparently not. He parked his car up in the back. I think he probably did. Didn't he park up?
Behind the house.
Back?
Yeah.
Yep. Now there's bushes and trees there, and what I think he probably did, because he thinks he's so smart, he was gonna beat this. He thought he could do it. I'll bet you that he got in there, and he in the bushes or the tree area, he probably put some plastic bags. He hid those. Then when he came out, I'm certain that this is my opinion, he probably took off all his clothes, at least his pants, his shoes, threw them in the garbage.
Well, that would make sense. Then you're getting in the car. And maybe he has underclothing that he could just didn't get bloody, or a change of clothes. Maybe changing clothes in a bag. I mean, it's possible he did that. It's hard to.
Right, because, how else? He's not stupid enough to jump in that car with that kind of blood all over him. He thought, I got this covered. I know how to hide the DNA. So that's
Makes
my
sense.
thought. He must have done something like that. He swapped out his shoes and everything. Well, he got his peep print, so I don't even know about whether they found those shoes. But I'm sure he did that, and his car probably has very minimal DNA, although it's impossible to stop it. It was on his hands or whatever. Probably got some on his steering wheel. But I thought, he probably did all that, changed his clothes and threw them in the trunk. I'll bet you he hid his license plate number temporarily, covered it. I think the state of Washington doesn't require a front plate. So he doesn't have a front plate on that car, I don't think. It's registered out of Washington. But the rear plate, he probably covered it up. But then, like an idiot, he drove around the neighborhood like, he made big mistakes with those door cams and stuff that saw that car. I mean, he made a lot of mistakes for a guy who thought he was so smart.
Yeah.
A fucking idiot. Sorry. Bless me. But, but it's, smart as he thought he was. And that whole Ted Bundy thing does kind of resonate with me a little bit. Maybe he had some heroes. Maybe the other guy, BTK, were his proteges. And there's just going to be a lot more to come. We're all dying to hear the details, why he did it, how he did it. But the good news, the word is, I'll leave on this. Thanks for justice in this case right now.
Yeah, I hope that...
I'll keep in touch with you.
Okay, well, thanks for calling in.
Keep doing your thing.
All right, man.
Yeah, thank you, great.
Yeah,
You're doing your thing.
All right, you too.
I love your viewers.
All right, thanks. All right, thank you up there, Ben Hills. Here, hold on, I'm going to go get some Coke or something. Right, bye. It is what it is. Oh, and thank you to on PayPal to Sandra. Thank you very much. And also, thank you so much to Amita. Very, very kind. Thank you so much. Very generous of you. She's always been very supportive behind the scenes. You guys don't even... Some people you don't even see on here. It's weird. So... Well, thanks, Christy Quasi, for the Coke break. Anyway, well, is there anybody in here watching tonight that isn't very aware of the Delphi case at all? Because you always get new people, like all these new people that are interested in the, I guess you'd call it the, just the Idaho 4 case. They might not have any idea about the Delphi case. There's people that have just started covering it in the last 3 months because it became really popular. But we were covering it back when it happened. I mean, we're talking 2017 on February 13th. I was already discussing it in Facebook groups. Just them being missing. So put a 1 if you don't really know much about it at all here. Thank you, Brianna25. Although a lot of the Idaho 4 wouldn't be watching, so I guess I can do the recap, I guess. Yeah, Razworld, Maria, Mrs. the South. Come on, Tina, why are you putting a 1 in there? Jeez. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, Jason. A little bit more than I thought, but I was thinking because a lot of people are crossover, that might be the deal here. So let me I'm gonna turn on the entire, there we go. That's the whole thing there. I wonder if I could do it in a little bit of time. I mean, it's just it's really complicated now, though. That's the thing. But so basically, just look at it like this. This is Abigail Williams right there. That's a picture taken 20 minutes before she was murdered. Something like that. 25 minutes. Right here. On the bridge in Delphi, Indiana. This is both of them when they were younger. That's more kind of how they would have looked at the time, age-wise, like that. This is actually an image of my animation that I made on the bridge, showing how maybe it went down, right? Then there's software out there that have, somebody put together. I think it's cool, the layout, but it didn't work. It wasn't very good. So the case was cold for 5 years. Well, it wasn't cold to the police. They were working it hard the whole time, but it was cold to us. Like people in following the case, there was almost nothing happening. But I'll just say the basic story again right here. If you guys don't mind. So hold on, let me get trying to figure out what that is in here. I hate that thing. Okay, let's just do that. Alright, so on February 13th, 2017, Libby and Abby were right here at their Libby's grandparents' house because they had custody of Libby and her older sister Kelsey, and then Derek, the biological father, was living there at the same time too, but he didn't have custody, and nor did Carrie Timmons, I think is her last name, the biological mother. So they were just Abby was, her mother name is Anna Williams, and this is Abigail Williams. That's the girl that was standing on the bridge in that photograph I just showed you. They were just there hanging out, doing work around the house for Becky, who's the grandparent. Becky and Mike Patty. So Becky, has an appraisal business. And the kids were helping around the house with their appraisal business, doing filing or whatever. And at some point, let's see what it was. Derek was going to take off. That's the biological father. He was living there too. He was going to take off and drive, probably would have taken this route like this, and drive all the way down to Frankfurt to take some photographs for Becky's appraisal business. And then he had taken off. But not long after he took off, Kelsey also said, well, I'm going to take off, everybody. I'm going to go see my boyfriend first. I'm going to see my boyfriend, and then I'm going to go to work. And then almost immediately, that's when Libby said, hey, can we get a ride to the bridge? You know, and sometimes it makes you think that they wanted to get to that bridge. Or they knew maybe somebody was going to be there and weren't going to be able to go. But finally, we can go. But then why didn't they get a ride when Derek left? Is it possible the person contacted them right after Derek left, and then that's when they were really excited to get the ride with Libby? Because they could have gotten their dad to give them a ride easily, right? No doubt about it. Oh, well, thank you very much, Victor Watson. You want the is that address a good one there? Hold on a second. I gotta do these on the fly or it won't remember to put them in here. Oh, that was it. All right, you're in the list for the notebook. They're supposed to be here on the 16th, everybody. They're supposed to be here on the 16th. So thank you so much. Okay, is everybody with me so far, where we're at? So they're right here, and Abby and Libby get a ride with Kelsey because she's going to go take off to see her boyfriend. So they drove like this. Boom, boom, boom. Right down around like this, around the corner. Then by the cemetery right here. Drove by. And then there's this little spot where, let me get the date correct up here so you can see. There it is. This is 2 months after the murder right here. That's what it looked like. The trees are bare. You can see through them. And there's this little parking area right here. And they were dropped off. Oh, you can't. Oh, wait. How did I get on this screen right here? But was it always like that on the whole story or just right sort of a minute ago? I don't remember. Might have to start over again. Hold on. What's this thing here? There it is. Guess that's when there's a guest on there. Oh, just a minute ago? Okay. All right. All right. So let me just do this part again. They got a ride from Kelsey, the older sister, Abby and Libby. Libby is her younger sister, and Abby's Libby's friend. They came down like this. We're driven here. There's a cell tower right there. There's a guy named Ron Logan who lives right in this house right there. Then they drove this direction. And Kelsey pulls over and drops them off here. But I think we now know that that was around 1:48. It used to be 1:37 is what we thought, but it's 1:48-ish because she drives by at 1:49 going like this. So it's 1:48. She's dropped off right here. And I guess now I can tell the story in the actual, a different way now. Because prior to them getting here, there were 4 friends that were out there. And let's see, they were walking around at, what time was that? 12? I think they made it to, yeah, there's 3 juveniles walking around that were, they knew they were friends with those people. And where's the bench? Oh yeah, so at 1:26, those girls walked by the bench. Apparently they were over in this area at 12 something. And then walked by the parking area at 1:26. So Abby and Libby weren't there for another 20 minutes or so. And they walked this direction. Right at the same time that they walked by a bench that's right here. You can see the bench on the path right off to the side there at 1:26. That's exactly when a car consistent with Richard Allen's car drove by and parked right here. We didn't know any of this stuff until the probable cause, but apparently he parked right here because he said he parked at an old building. He called it, he named it a different place. You know what's weird is the story is sort of hard to tell now because we have so much more information, so it's not an unknown. But you just picture it like this. This is stuff from the probable cause affidavit. Some of these people walking around. We didn't know about any of these people, or, well, some people knew a little bit about the 3 juveniles, but not a ton of information. Then there was this other key witness who drove by. So right at let me just do this part again. 126, they walked by the bench, these 3 girls. And right around 127, a car consistent with Richard Allen drives by right over here. Then the 3 girls, as they kept walking down the path, pass Richard Allen right in this location and say, oh yeah, he was wearing dark, he didn't make eye contact. And Richard Allen admits to, because in 2017, shortly after the murders, he went to a conservation officer and said, hey, you guys, I was out at the bridge that day. I was out there. I was looking at my, watching stocks, looking at fish. And I was walking around, and I saw the various people. I just wanted to let you know I was out there. And somehow that information was not discovered until like 2 months ago, 3 months ago. That's when it finally somebody saw that this guy named Richard Allen was out there. It was unbelievable. So, anyways, this guy. He passes them right here, Richard Allen does, and he walks down like this. Now, this other lady was driving right here and said that she saw those 3 girls. She said 4, but it's probably the same 3, but it really doesn't even matter. She is caught on camera driving like this. Then she comes around the corner, and while she's driving by the CPS building, she notices a car that's parked in a way to obscure its license plate right here. I mean, she's the best witness there is out there. Then she drove by right here and got out of her car at 146. I call her Sue, right? So she gets out of her car at 146 right at the parking area right here. She passes this building at 146, so it's very close to that time. So maybe 147. And she got out of her car, and probably 1 or 2 minutes later is when Kelsey pulled up. So and they might have sat in the car for a minute or walked slowly. This girl was out there to exercise. Sue was. So she got out of her car, walked this direction, and by this time, Richard Allen had made his way all the way to the bridge. And Sue sees Richard Allen standing on platform 1 right here at 152. And then she just turns around. She's about 50 feet away from him and then turns around. She probably went right to the start of the bridge. I wonder if that's almost exactly 50 feet. To that platform. Yeah, it's 50. It's actually 50 feet, 0.89. So that's exactly what happened. He was on platform 1. She went to the start of the bridge right there, then turned around. And guess what, though? When she was walking back, halfway back to the parking area, she walked by 2 girls that she said were consistent with Abby and Libby. She remembers walking right by them because they were just dropped off. They went this way. Guess what now? Richard Allen is the only person that's now in front of them. There isn't another person anywhere. So a lot of people think that Richard Allen went all the way across the bridge in front of them, and then the girls could see him up there. And anyways, they went, let's still go across. And then he passed them and turned around. That doesn't make any sense, right? So the reality is Richard Allen probably saw them coming, and then he went back this way to make them feel more comfortable, and then he watched, and they went out on the bridge. And then he, from back in this area, could sit here and watch them like this, down this path, and see if they went on the bridge. And once they got like halfway across, he probably started making his move. At one point, Libby takes a photograph of the entire length of the bridge. You see this. There's nobody on this side, so that kind of debunks the Richard Allen already crossed thing. All right, doesn't make any sense. And then right after that is when we see the picture of Abby on the bridge and the photograph like this. Then, that was at 2:07, the photograph taken of Abby on the bridge. Then, there's a video taken of the killer coming towards the girls. So, for those of you who aren't aware, here is the video right now. It's pretty crazy. Watch this.
Guys. Down the hill. Guys. Down the hill. Guys. Down the hill.
All right, so that's it. And he doesn't say those words right there. He says them. They don't link up the words with him. He says those words right at the end of the bridge as he's walking towards. So right now, the video that you're seeing, the platform that you see behind him is back here. He's standing about right here. It's just the angle and the wide angle lens that makes the things look farther away or closer than they are, really. So in this case, he's about right here. And Abby is still on the bridge trying to make her way off to the end. Libby's already standing off the end of the bridge, off the end, holding the camera low. Then Libby comes up and they start saying, hey, which way to go, which way to go? And then, Abby says that too. And then Abby said, he's got a gun. Is that a gun? As the guy's approaching. And then he says, guys. And then maybe the gun's after that. Seems like it would be more likely that after he said, guys, then he pulls the gun out. And then she says, is that a gun? He's got a gun. And then he says, down the hill. And then he has them go down the hill right here. And apparently there was a shoe found over here. Then they were made to cross this creek. There's this really shallow area right here. They were either made to cross the creek or they made a run for it. Either way, he caught up to them and he killed both of them right over here with a sharp weapon. But we already know now that at the scene, there was an unspent bullet just sitting there. And it turns out that it matches the ejection marks as well to one of Richard Allen's guns. Okay? So they did find that there. So after Richard Allen has him go down the hill right there. Oh, let me bring up this part. The video that you just saw was at 2:13. So it was only 6 minutes after the photograph taken of Abby on the bridge. So the photo of her on the bridge was 2:07, then 2:13, and that was the video we see is right near the end of the video. The original full-length video is 43 seconds long, and apparently I went back and did a video. He would be back way further back here in that video. Okay? There's a lot of clowns out there that want to say, oh yeah, he was already on the other side, then he passed and crossed, and then he turned around. It just doesn't make any sense. I know they want it to be that way. It's just what they do. Now, if it turns out that is what it is, I'll buy a crow. I'll cook it up with marinara sauce and a little pasta and eat it. Okay, that'd be awesome. Oh, that's weird, Gummo. I thought you were a female. See, I guess you don't know when there's names like Gummo. How would you know? Yeah. But there's almost no chance of that. So then Richard Allen, he goes down here, and that's 2:30-ish. He would be there. And then a person that was bloody and muddy, matching the description of Richard Allen, is seen walking right here at, I believe it was 3:50 something, and then apparently goes down here and drives away in a car. And now, before we found out about all of this stuff, the evolution of it was that all we knew was that the girls were where they were killed. They were found on a guy's property named Ron Logan. There's this podcast called Murder Sheet who put out information that we hadn't seen before. After the arrest of a guy named Keegan Klein, right? So there's a guy named Keegan Klein that was arrested, and he was apparently liked some of the comments on Libby's either Instagram or I think something like that, or what's the other one that you can? I think it is Instagram, right? Snapchat. Snapchat. Maybe liked a comment. So they were able to check, and it turns out that the guy lived in Peru, Indiana. And well, that's where the account was created at a house of his father's house. So they went to the house and did a search warrant, got into the house, and they had just got back from Las Vegas. And this is on February 25th, I think, if I remember right. So just not too long after the murders. And they go over to the house and they find all of these devices, and they're filled with child pornography. And in fact, the investigation into his account led to one of the largest child pornography rings in Indiana state history through a Dropbox account that he used. I mean, it's absolutely unbelievable. And the phone that he was using during the time of the murders was not located in the house. So the phone that he was using during the time that Abby and Libby were murdered, they did not find the phone. He gave them all these other phones with all this pornography on it, but didn't give them that one. Then he was taken to the station and given a lie detector test, and then he was dropped off back home. And after he got back home, lo and behold, an hour later, he finds his phone, because they know this because he has it and is deleting apps off of his phone and reinstalling and deleting, so it keeps writing over. And he just does it over and over and over again to try to wipe that phone completely clean. Then, 2 days later, the next day he does the same thing, uninstalling, deleting. Then he gets a hold of the police and turns the phone in. He has a completely different story later on, but that's the reality of it. That's what the forensics say is exactly what he did. So let's see. So you had that. So that's what started this whole direction here. This is before Richard Allen. This is December of 2021, actually, is when all this came out. Hey, thank you so much, Eugenie and Tosh. Are you guys following along, the new people? I hope I'm not being too confusing, but it's one of those things where there's so much stuff now that it's hard to go backwards, and then you start adding stuff back into it. So let me show you Keegan Klein. So this is Keegan Klein is this guy right here. This is the individual. I don't know if you can see him, but that's him. Just a ridiculous looking human, to be honest with you. Highly recommend. Great. Yeah, go back and check out all the Delphi shots. Let me show you the 3D animation Delphi. Yeah, so this will give you a really good picture of what it probably was like that day. I made this 3 years ago. So these will show you the photographs and everything. So this is probably what Libby was doing, kneeling down, and she took this full shot of the bridge. Now, if you notice in that picture there's no Richard Allen there. But that doesn't mean anything to the trolls. Oh, he sprinted across. Great. So then they're walking this direction. She gets onto platform number 3 on the bridge, and then takes a photograph of Abby, and it's like this one coming up right here, just like that. And in the background, you don't see Richard Allen again. But he's probably back there somewhere in the woods. You can't see him. Then after that, they get back on the bridge and they start heading across. And they're walking across now, maybe right there. See that? That's Richard Allen way in the background back there, coming towards them. But at the time, he was an unknown person. And then there's Libby standing off the end of the bridge. And here comes Abby. She's still trying to get off the bridge. And here this guy comes. The killer. Hey, is that a gun? He's got a gun. You know, things like that. Where are we going to go? Where are we going to go? There you go. there's just so much stuff related to Keegan Klein too, though. So, you know, you know, Keegan Klein's name was out there. Everybody's looking into him. There's a 194-page document. We read through all of that. There's a 25-page document. We read through all of that. There was an interview by HLN, Barbara McDonald, with Keegan Klein. Went through all that. So we have gone over all of that information. And let's see. After all of that, it turns out that one day the Indiana State Police, they go and take custody of Richard Allen right out of prison. Now, why would somebody do that? The reason you're doing that, or out of his jail cell, the reason you do that is because you need him to show you something. There's no reason you ever need to take somebody out of jail unless you physically, you know, they're sick, or you need them to show you something. So apparently they took him out of jail, and they brought him over to, it possibly could be this Grissom Air Force Base right here, where apparently there was a meeting with Keegan Klein and all of these different agencies out there because of his connections to this large child pornography ring. But apparently he had information on the Delphi case. And they took him over to, well, he showed him where possibly something was thrown off into the water. So they go down to this bridge here, and law enforcement for a month was right down here searching for something in the water. Let me see. Well, I can even do it like law enforcement searches Wabash River. So it's the Wabash River, and it's got to be some images in here. Yeah, right here. I mean, look at these guys. They're in there day in, day out, searching and searching and searching with metal detectors, moving around. They're just in there for months. I mean, they are just, I mean, not months, but like, you know, 5 weeks or something they're in there. A really long period of time. If I remember right, I think it was August, and then even part of September, almost all the way to the end of September. And then right after they were over there and Doug Carter flew over in a helicopter, 2 weeks later, they're serving a search warrant at Richard Allen's house. Then 2 weeks after that, he's arrested for the murders of Abby and Libby after 5 years. So a lot of us believe that Keegan Klein gave them information that made them look back through, because what happened was apparently Richard Allen, the killer, made himself known almost immediately. And it really has to be embarrassing by law enforcement, because the stuff that Richard Allen said, he said he was at the bridge, you know, he was there for 2 hours walking around doing this, and it never made it to the right people to look at him and go, whoa, this guy's admitting to being there. And even saw the 3 girls that said he looked just like that. And it's really startling, but they said they looked through old information, and there he is, Richard Allen. So this is what I believe. Could be totally wrong. I think that something that Keegan Klein, that part of the investigation led to the name Richard Allen. And when they looked him up, they go, holy crap, this guy lives in Delphi. And he's been here for years. We talked, and they know that they pretty much interviewed every single adult male in the city of Delphi. And they're saying, how come he's not in our books? And then they went through, digging through old files, and there it is. He came forward to law enforcement himself. He called a conservation officer, maybe a friend, who knows, and met him at a store parking lot. And he said, oh, yeah, I was out there that day. You know what, I didn't see them, but I just want to be helpful here. I didn't see the 2 girls, but I was there. I did pass these 3 girls. I walked by them. Didn't see anybody else there. But then it's like, well, what were you doing there for 2 more hours then? Right? What were you doing? Yeah, so there's more details that sort of surround this whole thing. And then, unfortunately, a document was released that law enforcement was interested in the property of Ron Logan, and they tried to sell in the document enough information for a judge to sign a search warrant, and therefore there's a group of sort of, I don't know if you call them conspiracy theory nutters, but they think it's Ron Logan on the bridge, and he doesn't even look like that guy. And Richard Allen looks exactly like the guy on the bridge. That's exactly how you would have pictured him. Yeah. Oh, cool. Yep, you guys are getting the... so remember, I get the notebook on the 16th, apparently. So, I mean, that's just what he told me. We'll have to wait and see. I do have the pens, though. I do have the pens. So, after I tell you I get the notebooks, if you haven't received one that you think you ordered, let me know. Because, like I said, you have to put in the PayPal that you want a notebook. Because sometimes people send, like just now, somebody was generous enough. Chantel here. She sent me, a $50 PayPal, but the notebooks are $25. So, I wouldn't know specifically that that's what it was for, but she said. Delphi, well, I'll say, it says, listen every night. Appreciate the time you sacrifice every night to make this show possible. Delphi is some of your best work. May I order a notebook, please? Well, look how nice that is. I mean, that's just... And then just before that was Victor said, thanks for all you do. I would like one of your notebooks when you have one to spare. No rush. Victor. AKA, well, I won't say what his AKA is because I didn't see that originally. So, oh, and then right here, did you want one, Kristen? Well, thank you, Kristen. Did you want a notebook? So anyways, for those of you who just heard that, isn't that really just crazy, that case? And they had this guy from the beginning. All law enforcement has said, everybody in law enforcement, if you ask them, you know what they say? They say, you have a video and audio. We thought we would have solved this case in the first week. And guess what? They should have. Because he came forward. He saw himself on the news. He knew they had a still frame of him. And like I said the other day, a really smart tactic at the time, which wouldn't have been, well, that's Monday morning quarterbacking. It just seems really obvious. You'd say, listen, if anybody admits that they were there, show them this photo and say it was taken by a trail camera. And all they would have to do, Richard Allen would have came forward and they said, hey, he goes, I was out there. And he goes, oh, we thought, you know what? I thought I recognized you. Look, here's a trail camera image we found out there. It's out near the bridge. It filmed you on the bridge. And he'd go, oh, yeah, that's me. Yep. And then right after that, he'd just say, turn around and handcuff his ass because that was an image taken off of Libby's phone. That would have just been simple. And the reason stuff like that doesn't happen is because everybody in these investigations isn't aware of anything. Like, everybody should be aware of more information. I know it means it's a better chance of getting out there, but man, when people, knowledge is king, right? That's what they say. So the more people know, like for example, if that conservation officer happened to know any information about, like, okay, this guy was at the bridge, this is an image right here, he was out there, and just knew more about it, he may have had second thoughts, like a year later he'd say, God, that guy Richard Allen came forward. Or even right then. I mean, you would have hoped it would have happened right then, but you would have hoped that at some point in the 5 years that this conservation officer, who must not pay attention to anything, I mean, didn't he ever come forward? I mean, how about that? Does that bother you guys at all? That the conservation officer in 5 years didn't think back to the day that he talked to some guy who said he was there that day. He may have thought, oh, they must have checked into him. I mean, it's possible he thought that, but wouldn't he just say to somebody, did you guys ever really check into this one guy? He told me he was out there. You know, be like curious, you know. I don't know, man. God, it's just ridiculous. That guy, you know what? The conservation officer is the one that makes me the most angry. The other officers just, you know, if the thing got filed strangely or whatever, it never made it to them. But the guy that actually talked to Richard Allen is absolutely, it's ludicrous that they didn't come forward during a 5-year period and just query about the guy that said he was there. And how about this? Didn't the conservation officer at the time look at him and say, in his mind, go, man, he sure as hell looks like that guy on the bridge? And maybe, had you told, had the FBI profile that was put out on the 18th, I think it was the 18th. No, was it the 23rd? When was that first big press conference? Can't remember. Right around that time. He said he may have changed his appearance. So what if the conservation officer was aware of that, and then he could have looked at the guy's face and thought, man, he looks like he's sort of clean shaven, or just anything. He looks just like the guy. He even said he was wearing the same shit, though. That's the crazy part. See, here's what I believe. I think Richard Allen saw himself in the image and knew they had him busted. He went out there to just kind of put some feelers out and just sort of like, hey, you know, spitballing. They knew, he thought that they knew that picture was him. And then he probably was just sitting around all those years just going, what the hell? Probably. That's what I'm talking about. What are you talking about? Yep. Really bothers you. Yep. Yo, Zozo! Your head exploded. Yeah, me too. After reading that document, that's when it really just... you know what? And maybe it's worthwhile to show for the new people here, and just for us, you know, because I've been so focused in on 2 other cases recently that it's hard to remember all the details. So how about I'll play for you guys that video I made a few weeks back, or a month or so ago, that showed the... Is that right there? Delphi, another vehicle. No, not that one. This one right here. This is the probable cause animated. All right, so I think this will be interesting for those people that are new. This is the probable cause document animated. And here we go. I don't know if I speak at all. I mean, we could just follow it. So this is 1243. Maybe I'll turn down the audio a little bit. 1243, those 3 girls that we mentioned earlier are walking together. They're just 3 random girls that weren't murdered. They were just out there. And now they're walking by where Abby and Libby were dropped off right here. And Sue parked there too later. So here comes the 3 girls. Look what time it is up there. It's 1:21. They're just really slowly playing, doing whatever they're doing. Then they're at the bench at 1:26. And then at 1:27, there goes Richard Allen, a vehicle matching Richard Allen's type of car drives by a camera that's right on that building right there. It's a really crappy. I wish I was using the same technique that I figured out recently to make those smoother. I might even do this again. Anyways, he parks right there with the license plate blocked. Now it's 1:29 or so. You know, who knows? Maybe he sat in his car for a minute or two. Maybe a little bit like Bryan Kohberger might have done. It doesn't have to be what I'm doing here. I'm just creating some time to make things match up. But he just could have sat in his car, or things happen a little different timing than this. But anyways, he gets out of his vehicle. And then he goes right by the Freedom Bridge and he passes those 3 girls right there, right? Then they go across the bridge. Now watch that old State Road 25 right there. This is when Sue drives underneath the bridge and sees them there. Okay, really crappy animation there. It's going really fast, but I had to get it there. That's how long it would have taken. I'm speeding up the time if you look up there. So she got there 1:46, and this is Sue walking down the trail right there. Then Abby and Libby were dropped off. And look at them. They're walking like this. They're on the trail just, walking, heading to the bridge. Then Sue sees Richard Allen, turns around, and then halfway back passes the 2 girls. Then they continue on, and guess what? Richard Allen's still right there, but I have Richard Allen seeing them and walk by them because at this point, he doesn't have control, a way to control them. They're not isolated. So he walks back this direction. This is some stuff that I'm adding in for myself here. And there goes Sue. She's just walking on a exercise walk, I guess you could call it, at the bridge area. Now when the girls are getting over here, he sort of makes his way back in the woods there a little bit further. Then we've got the photographs taken on the bridge. Libby takes a Snapchat, and maybe when they're about right here, that's when he makes his move. And they may have even seen him, and they go, come on, we got to go to the other side. I don't want to pass him. I don't want to pass him. And that's another witness that drove by and saw the car parked there at the abandoned CPS building. Then Sue got in her car, and she drove away. Boom, she's out of there. And then the killer takes the 2 girls off the end of the bridge, down the hill, and then here's that shallow area right here. And then has them go across the creek. And then they're found murdered over in this area. But look how long he stays there. From probably around 2:25 to, who knows, man, an hour and something. He's there with those girls there. And at around 3:30 or so, there's a girl named Cheyenne on that bridge. And I wonder if her voice kind of scared him and he left. So look, he's just sitting there at 2:31. So this is a wide shot. There they are down here. And thank you all for supporting the channel. I really appreciate it. Very generous support. Thank you. You guys are awesome. And, when I say guys, it's generic for everybody, okay? Well, why didn't you say gals? Well, because if you say gals, a guy would be offended, but girls aren't offended with guys because girls call each other guys. Just being real talk there, real talk. Why would a guy be Oh, God. There we go. Why would a guy be offended by being called a gal? I don't know. Just a hunch. But look at that. He was there for an hour and 20 minutes. They're dead. He kills them, leaves them there. Then he likely went up through the cemetery, ironically. Then he walks down and boom, right there at 3:58, a witness sees Richard Allen muddy and bloody, or a person resembling him, Then he makes it over to his car, and that's kind of where the video ends at like 4:10. Right? Pretty crazy, right? So hopefully that helped out a little bit for people to... Yeah, I always argue with myself. Have debates. Thank you, Nicole. That's why I'm able to do the Mary Lou, right? Because to me, it's just another person. And I think Nicole Wilson might be, hopefully if Nicole Wilson shows up in chat, just be nice. Like, we kind of had a weird moment a while back, but we talked about it on in emails and stuff like that, so just don't worry about it. Well, thanks, Unlabeled. Ooh, there goes my stomach. I don't know if that's the same Nicole right there. It doesn't say Wilson on it, but... Oh, that is you. Okay. All right. Well, well, good to see you. All right. The first name went, oh, maybe, I didn't know it was you or not, but, but thank you. So does anybody have any questions out there regarding this that are from, maybe the newer viewers about the Delphi case? I'm friends with Kelsey, Becky. I know Mike pretty well. I've talked to them twice at 2 different CrimeCons on the phone, many times with like Kelsey and Becky. I probably talked to Becky, I don't know, at least 15 times on the phone, and Kelsey probably something similar to that. Really good people. There's a lot of troll YouTube jackasses out there that make videos attacking them. It's sick, They're the same people that would make videos on the surviving roommates, in the Idaho 4 case. And go after them relentlessly, day in and day out. Even when they're cleared, they just keep going. Well, the thing is... Oh, wait. Here's something that you guys got to know here. So, the Keegan Klein account was an account called Anthony Shots. It was this really hot-looking young model, and he was using that to lure girls in. Like, hey, he pretended he was Anthony, like his Anthony Shots guy that was like 17 or 18, and he would talk to girls that were like 12, 13, 14. I mean, it was just ridiculous because he looks like an ogre, a cave troll, right? So he was doing that to catfish people. But there was also an Emily Ann account that he was using too, but that one seemed to be used by an older person. It was trying to normalize, groom the girls into wanting to meet up with a 40-something-year-old. And that's where Keegan Klein's father was implicated in various interviews and documents out there. Keegan Klein's father once smashed his own stepkid's head into a toilet, breaking his skull. He chased one of his... he would tell his other daughter to run and chased her down, and then she broke her arm one time. But when he smashed his son's head into the toilet, he then bit his wife in the stomach as if it was just so, like almost a sexual moment for him. And that was the Tony Klein, okay? So that's a real story that actually happened out there. And then people wonder, there was also a search for a bunch of CSAM material stuff on their cell phone, and then during that, they one of them looked up bodies of Sandy Hook. So you sort of wonder, like, what was that doing in there? Are you interested in that? And they were looking for video and image evidence when they did the Ron Logan search. And one of the things I wonder about is, what did somebody film what happened and then take that video to Las Vegas, where it was sold to somebody in Las Vegas? Then they drove all the way back, and that's because here's the thing, they had a Samsung phone that was factory reset in Las Vegas. So what if Richard Allen is the one, he kills them, and that was part of a situation where for the child pornography ring, there was a film made. Keegan Klein says that he was there that day. Keegan Klein, and this is a known fact, did a search for a Marathon gas station in Delphi on the day of the murders, and that is right there. Richard Allen lives right there. And the Kleins live in Peru, Indiana, way over here. So why was Keegan Klein looking for the Marathon gas station? Was he going to go here and meet Richard Allen after killing the girls to give him something or get something from him? And then after that, Richard Allen might have gone home. Keegan Klein then drives all the way up to Peru over here, and he's the one that threw something off the bridge, but it wasn't something he used. But he knew exactly where it was thrown in because he's the one that threw it in. Then he goes home. And then years later, Richard Allen's the guy there, but that's just a theory that I've got. I don't have any proof. This right here is very interesting, that Keegan Klein looked for the Marathon gas station on the day of the murders, and Richard Allen lives right there, and the murders happen right here. And you can see how you could drive there. There's also a creek that goes almost right from Richard Allen's backyard all the way up into the scene there. You can walk right here. This road goes right by where Abby's house was. They just didn't realize it when they were on the bridge, that if you went down to this private drive, you could end up going right over to Abby's house over there. So that was more information added to it that just popped into my head. Need camera footage of who? What do you mean? I was trying. Yeah. It could be that he was getting money, Richard Allen, or he was kind of. It's really. You want you guys to hear something bizarre? The new people here is. Richard Allen has a wife and a daughter, and the daughter has some similarities to Libby. And there's a photograph of his daughter on a bed in the house wearing one of the tie-dye Abby and Libby t-shirts. I mean, it's just really, you can't, this stuff wouldn't even make it into a movie script. It's ridiculous. We might have to do go back and do start doing shows again. I feel like my brain is not quite I don't have all the stuff in my head like I always do on this case. It's all popping back in as I go, but it's not organized because I've been thinking about something else. I've got a bunch of photographs of him, videos of Richard Allen. Yeah, I'm serious. Yeah. Yeah, a little bit of Idaho mush brain. You get that. Hold on one second. Let me... Yes, you too can join the Love Boat with Captain Steubing, Isaac, Julie, Gopher, and who was the other one? Who's the other one that I'm missing? Julie, Gopher, Isaac, the Doc, and Captain Steubing. That's it. Oh, Vicky was sort of new, you know, like Vicky was the Oliver of that show, okay? I mean, she was barely... Da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, that's probably good you didn't watch that one. It wasn't that good. It wasn't good. Oh yeah, later in life she did keep grinding up, yeah. Thank you, Georgina Stoliker. Any more questions on this one? And for any of the people that are sort of new to this case, what do you want to know about it? I don't know, I think it makes them more progressive. Instead of watching television, they're doing something active. Naturalized patriot. You know when they say there's one thing you can be sure of is death and taxes? I think you can also say that if you are magnet fishing or diving in a river and you find a gun in the river, that it was used in something bad. I think that's 100%. There's nobody that has a gun and drives by a river and goes, ha, and just chucks their pistol into it. Nobody does that. I did gray one time. I was... Okay, hey, thanks. Trish escaped. Let's see. Well, we'll see at the trial if they have any other... Oh, they got tons of evidence. They just said today they have mountains of... I mean, just... Where was that? Yeah, right down here. Goal called the discovery in this case extraordinarily voluminous. So that might be all the years of stuff, but I don't know, man. That could just be related to Richard Allen. Allen was arrested October 2022 and charged with 2 counts of murder for the February 2017 killing of Abby Williams, 13, and Liberty German, 14. Allen has pleaded not guilty. Abby and Libby, who were best friends, were on a hiking trail in the small town of Delphi when they were killed. Heather B. said, catching up on replay, if the crazies on Reddit are talking about you, that means you're getting popular. Erase the toxic emails and don't read Reddit. And you do great work, and we all know it. Well, thank you. Yeah, I have to start blocking people, I guess. We don't know exactly where they found her phone. It was near the crime scene, though, and the video was taken off of the phone, not the cloud. Like some people go, "Ooh, it was on the cloud. It was on the cloud." No, it wasn't. It was on her phone itself, and the audio and video are from the same video. And it's weird how right at the beginning it seems so obvious that that's exactly what they have. You can tell by the look of the video or the still frames they released. The video was put out in 2019. For 2 years, all we had was a still frame from the video, which I thought, when you look back and you think about that, how stupid is that? What was the point of not showing the 2 seconds of video? That might have led to somebody going, oh my God, that looks like Richard Allen. I just saw him yesterday. Instead, you wait 4 years and people are like, 3 years later, they're like, yeah, I don't know. It kind of looks like, Somebody might have said, oh, God, that's the guy I saw walking. It would have led to a lot more leads. I think people, sometimes they hold on to too much information. There's no reason for it. Gray, you just don't know the reason. Richard Allen, yeah. I think this might be his first and only kill, yeah. Most killers are like that. You know, it might have been like he always thought he wanted to do it, but then when he was doing it, maybe it wasn't really all he thought it was going to be, and he sort of seems like he's gone downhill since then, don't you think? And now I'm starting to really feel sorry for Richard Allen. Boy, you know what? Forget it, you guys. Time served. He's... Jeez. Just kidding. It was a joke. Simple Life days. Yeah, don't you wait 10 seconds for the rest of it? What? Had you for a second. Oh, God. Oh, is that the 2020 from tonight on the case? I'll have to check it out. On the Idaho 4, yeah. Let's see what they're saying here. While the girls were on the trail that day, one of them said gun as a man approached them, the probable cause affidavit said, citing video recovered from one of the victims' phones. A man was seen and heard telling the girls, guys, down the hill. And Abby and Libby then went down the hill according to the probable cause affidavit released in November. A .40 caliber unspent round was found less than 2 feet away from the bodies and went through a gun that Allen owns according to the affidavit. Allen admitted to police he was on the trail the day of the murders, but he denied knowing the victims and denied any involvement in their deaths. When asked about the unspent bullet, Allen did not have an explanation of why the bullet was found by the girl's body. Police still have not released how Abby and Libby died. Well, they did, actually. It was a sharp force object, or like a weapon. It was in the Ron Logan document. Not, specific details, though. See, it's interesting how they don't remember things like that when they tell these stories. Like, wouldn't they be able to say, well, there's hints of it? Yeah, that's right, Jennifer. That's exactly right. So here's what happened during the Richard Allen's hearing in the Delphi case. I guess that's him right there. Who's that? That's Richard Allen being led into court. That's him getting out of the car right there. There he is walking down.
Probably be able to draw a conclusion about where we are with that.
We'll probably need more than just the next 2 months to get ready for trial.
In terms of a trial, I think we all know where we are with that at this point. For any period of time, would probably be able to draw a conclusion about where we are with that.
At this point, it's too early to even pick a trial. Recovery. Prepared for trial.
It's going to be, I hate to say it, but it might be years before there's a trial in this case. I mean, it just sucks to say that, but I've seen it delay after delay. Might even shift up on his attorney, change that, and then he'll have to start over.
Still being held without bond.
It's been difficult for him, mentally tough right now.
It's always better to stay in jail than prison. Oh, there you go. See?
Next time.
So I know both of them right there. Yeah, it's good to see them, and all three of them actually. So let's see.
next month. The families of the girls filled half the courtroom today and will doubtlessly be back for that hearing. The next time Richard Allen will be in...
Very cool, very cool. The hearing was delayed until 10:26 a.m. It lasted only about 10 minutes, wrapping up by about 10:36 a.m. Defense attorney and prosecutor spent several minutes talking to Judge Fran Gohl in her chambers before the proceedings began. Gohl expressed skepticism that Allen's trial would be on track for March 23rd, citing the extraordinary, voluminous evidence in the case that must be turned over to the defense. This is Fox 59 here. They've been around since the beginning. Good stuff there. At the same time, she couldn't see a way for the trial to be held outside of Carroll County. Let's see. The judge also said she couldn't see how the trial could involve Carroll County jurors. It would be difficult, if not impossible, to find jurors in Carroll County who have not been involved in the case in some capacity. At the same time, she couldn't see a way for the trial to be held outside of Carroll County, given the convenience of witnesses. She said the cost to move the trial to another county would be extraordinary. The solution will involve bringing in jurors from an outside county. The defense and prosecution have a week to agree on a suitable county for which jurors could be bussed into Carroll County. The gag order will remain in effect, although attorneys from both sides can talk about procedural issues at the bail hearing set for February 17th. So that's the next hearing. That's a little over a month. They are not to discuss the facts of the case. Gohl said she'll hear arguments during the bail hearing on whether the trial can proceed as scheduled on March 23rd, although there are thousands upon thousands of pages of discovery for the state to turn over to Allen's defense lawyers. I mean, see what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah, I was watching this other channel today, and I just turned in there for a second and saw a poll question. And there was 40% of the people were... was it this case or was it the other one? No, I think it was not this one. It was Bryan Kohberger. Like 40% think, oh, I don't think he's guilty. It just, you always just wonder, is that like the conspiracy theory channels? And at least there was 60% had their brains were working for a few minutes. Yeah. Gohl also noted that the state has been diligent in turning over material to Allen's lawyers. After the hearing, defense lawyer met with Gohl in her chambers. They came back to the court. Remember, they weren't as cocky this time, though. It didn't sound like. They came back to the courtroom for a hearing on public funding for investigators, although it was a really short clip. Those proceedings were closed to the public. Oh, yeah, the funding. Yeah, because, I mean, that's the only way to make it a fair trial, right? Right, that's what I'm saying, Karen. That's why they're not as cocky. They're getting all this discovery, and they're like, ooh. Hey, Richard, have you thought of maybe cutting a deal here? You know? All right, well, that's all I had on the Delphi case, but I think we need to do a show coming up here pretty soon. You know, do a call-in, you know, reset it all, go over some of the stuff, just because you need to have it kind of in your head so that when a trial does happen or something happens, you're aware of everything. It gets frustrating when it's not in your head as much as it was, you know. I mean, I remember most of it, but I don't even know who that is, Marty. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Ridiculous. I think I know who you're talking about. I had to leave because I didn't want to hear any thoughts that they have. I don't want any of that stuff affecting what I think. Yeah, we covered that one already. Cantina. There was an arrest made in the Athena Brownfield. Okay. So this is for the Bryan Kohberger. So it's Idaho murder suspect Bryan Kohberger's ex-attorney shrugs off evidence used to arrest him, claims DNA on knife sheath could have been there for an indefinite period of time, and cell phone pings off tower near the home doesn't place him at the crime scene. Well, that is true. It just means he's in the area. You know, when you use, what is it, Wi-Fi, you can get really precise there. And if you have multiple cell towers, you can triangulate. University of Idaho murder suspect Bryan Kohberger, ex-attorney, said while there is strong circumstantial evidence against him, viewed individually, it could be easily attacked in court. Chief Public Defender from Monroe County, Pennsylvania, Jason Labar, was court-appointed to Kohberger before the alleged murder was extradited to Idaho and hired a private attorney. Speaking to Law and Crime Sidebar podcast host Anjanette Levy, Labar eviscerated the probable cause affidavit, explaining that the evidence is not clear-cut. I just totally disagree with that. See, here's the thing, everybody. When you're a defense attorney, everything to you doesn't look clear-cut. But to people with logical brains who look at something rationally, it is clear-cut. See, defense attorneys, that's why I don't watch channels that are defense attorneys, because they're looking for ways out and trying to, you know, so they're sort of interesting because you can see what might be done at trial, but at the same time, they try to look at the most unlikely thing that they can use. I mean, there's a lot of really unlikely things that they use to counter factual information, and there's enough dumb people out there that go, wow, I guess that is possible, therefore, and that's what they use. So that's why I don't like listening to them, you know? I really don't. So it's boring. I mean, I guess when I say boring, sometimes it's interesting to see the slimy, crappy tactics that might be used so that you could just immediately go, nah. Let's see. Labar said there is no other direct evidence linking. Let me see. Where is this? Pennsylvania Public Defender comments on the knife sheath. Right, you got that. Which would mean it could remain on the sheath for an indefinite amount of time. So at one point you're saying, though, defense attorney, that he did touch it, or the knife came in contact with something that he touched. But you don't really know, do you, the precise type of DNA it was. And what if his thumbprint is on the button itself? You ever thought of that? Labar said there's no other direct evidence linking Kohberger to the fatal stabbings of college students Kaylee Gonzalez, Madison Mogan, both 21, and Zana Kernodle, and her boyfriend Ethan Chapin. I would have been interested in it even if the knife sheath wasn't there and they used genetic genealogy, well, they wouldn't have DNA to compare, but if they don't have another DNA sample, and an attorney can wipe out the DNA on the knife sheath, then they might be in a weird place, because then there's no way other than sort of ping information and a white Elantra consistent with his, right? I guess you could look at it like that, but I wonder if they have another sample of DNA in that house. Maybe a hair or something. Labar explains that police went off cell phone pings rather than GPS coordinates. It was GPS location coordinates. You're talking down to a meter as where Bryan Kohberger was at the time of these crimes. But wasn't the Wi-Fi turned off at that house or something? Whereas cell phone tower ping is that you're within a radius of that tower up to 20 miles. Yeah, unless you have 2 or 3 of them. Then you can triangulate. Obviously, Mr. Kohberger lived within 10 miles of the university. Well, that's not true. Like, if you're in Pullman, Washington, and turn on your phone, it's not pinging a Moscow tower. It's going to ping one of the ones right there in Pullman, you know. I don't believe hearsay is admissible in Idaho under rules. The fact that one of the surviving roommates, Dylan Mortensen, is reported to have spotted Kohberger in the house. Well, she didn't say Kohberger. She said a guy with, bushy eyebrows. Cross-examination of her is going to be key in the case to possibly get even more holes as far as identification is concerned. Labar said he spoke with Kohberger over the course of the 5 days that he had been his attorney for about 4 hours in total and described him as engaged. Oh, I bet. During that time, Kohberger told Labar that he believed he would be exonerated once he was transferred to Idaho. He was aware of what plans I had, and he was good with everything that I laid out for him, including the statement, he said. The statement of him being exonerated implicitly meant that he was innocent of the crimes. He used the word exonerated. During that time, Kohberger told Labar that he believed he would be exonerated. However, we're just in the infancy of the case, Labar mused. Yeah, he doesn't seem like he's weak, looking at that there. Kind of weird structure, but more evidence is expected after the preliminary hearing, and while he's no longer representing Kohberger and has no plans of communicating with him, Labar will be following the case and viewing everything objectively. God, what a nightmare. The most damning piece of evidence is the fact that a DNA sample taken from Kohberger's family home in Pennsylvania matched DNA found on the snap button. Look at, you got a DNA that was found on the snap button of a K-bar knife found inside the home, and the DNA matched Bryan Kohberger's father. Okay, so there's no way around that. You've got that. Then there is a white Elantra consistent with Bryan Kohberger's Elantra, and the phone number was pinging, leaving Pullman, Washington. His phone was leaving Pullman, Washington at like 2:50 in the morning. And it's consistent with going to Moscow, Washington. Then his phone is turned off, but the white Elantra that he was driving is seen various times throughout the town of Moscow up until, and he made 3 passes, the same Elantra did, by the home. I mean, you'd have to be an idiot not to be able to put this together, right? So the white Elantra passed the home multiple times. Then at 4:04, it drove eastbound on King Street, and it continued on and then turned around. Well, it was actually Queen Street, but it turned around. I think it was number 52. It turned around in front of that. I think it's back where that other camera was. Turns around, then drives back right when it gets in front of the 1122 King Road address. It sort of tried to turn around. It wasn't able to. Then it drove forward to the intersection of Queen and King and did a 3-point turn. So like turning left on King Road, backing up on King Road, and then turning left onto Queen Road, which they somehow call King Road, but it's Queen Road, and then drives past the front parking area, goes around to the back of the house where the, where you can see the house through the trees. And then a murder is committed in probably a 10 to 12 minute window. I think it's a lot smaller than that. And then the car starts pinging again as it's heading back home, but way down south in a strange area, and then right back into Moscow, Idaho. And then later in the day, the same phone, you guys, see, here's what they're leaving out of these stories. The same phone that was pinging in Moscow leaving, in Pullman, the same phone that was pinging in Pullman and leaving Pullman at like 2:50 in the morning. And then later in the day at around 12:30, it's over at an Albertsons. And you see Bryan Kohberger get out. The same phone, though, was pinging. And he's driving in a white Elantra, consistent with the one that left Moscow or Pullman, Washington at 2:20 something, seen on camera or 2:50 something, seen on cameras multiple times in Moscow, driving around, and eventually, I think it's just so clear. It's one of the clearest things I've ever seen. Yeah. Oh, and thank you up there to Simple Life Days. And yes, we'll be getting our notebooks pretty soon. So if you'd like to have a notebook, you can send a PayPal of $25 or more and you get a notebook. Plus you get into the spin at the end of the show. And that allows, you can, if you order a notebook and you win on the spin, I'll just automatically send it'll be a mug that you get. So then you'll have the red or black pen. I'm going to put black unless people specify otherwise. I think black looks better with the notebook, right? So the notebook's going to look kind of like the ones I already have, like this one. But, like the red pen is going to go here, but the black one looks good too. Like the black one, I think, sort of the standard, it looks better. It's like it just goes with it. But look at this ones right here. They say freak. Just like this one. Freak. Awesome. Well, it's hard to say there, Melanie, because if people put stuff out that have knowledge, like the stuff that I get from the person who's sending me stuff, that's real information, so it's hard to say. If you get a good source somewhere, stuff might come out. All right, So let's read this thing. This was posted on Facebook, right? Yeah, everybody's talking about this thing. It says, I'm posting anonymous. I think this is such a pile of shit right here. It just absolutely is ridiculous. So it says, I'm posting anonymously because Bryan is my family. So maybe this is his sister. And you people in this group, you people, ugh, act like vultures and rabid raccoons. Well, rabid dog I would have thought of, but raccoons. What made you think of raccoon? Bryan is innocent, and you will see he has been framed by his... I mean, this is so classic, just some kind of a crappy... He's been framed by his drug partner, friend, and security guard from the university. Okay, now listen to this. They were doing drugs together in the parking lot. And guess what parking lot they're talking about? The one at 1122 King Road. So what are you doing there doing drugs in that parking lot? Why did you pick that parking lot to do drugs in? They were doing drugs together in that parking lot as they had done numerous times. Okay, so that now you're explaining. See, this is attempting to explain all the other pings. Oh, they would go back and they would do drugs all the time in the 1122 parking lot. It was such a great parking lot. It's one of the best parking lots that's ever been known to mankind. In fact, it was in Reader Digest as being one of the greatest parking lots in the history of the planet. So a lot of people would just drive there and park right there and do drugs. It was awesome. They were doing drugs together in the parking lot as they had done numerous times. But when security guards started acting like a peeping Tom outside the girl's window, see, that proves that it was that parking lot. Bryan left the security guard. So he saw him peeping Tom. So what this really is sort of a reflection. You know, that's probably what he was doing. Although he's not the one telling it. But anyways, it said... let's see. They were doing drugs together in the parking lot as they had done numerous times. But when security guards started acting like a peeping Tom outside the girl's window, Bryan left said security guard and drove back to his apartment. Except, you know, one thing that's really strange is, why did... what's the part that's bothersome about that? Well, here it is. Why did Bryan Kohberger, when he drove back to his apartment, go this way that takes like 50 minutes? I'm so mad at my drug dealing maintenance guy that I usually smoke with. I'm going to go on a long drive. And he goes way down here like this. And then around. And then he finally makes it back in there. They don't really explain that in there. You know? So there's debunked number one. Can anybody give me a good logical explanation for that? So Bryan left the security guard and drove back to his apartment. The reason the phone was off is because the battery was flat. Wow, what a coincidence. And security guard was using the car charger. Man, just so many bad breaks. Bryan put his phone on charge when he left the parking lot. Okay, so he put the phone on charge when he left the parking lot and left the guy sitting there. And he switched it back on when he was near his apartment. Wow! Why would he need to turn it on right when he got by his apartment? He knows how to get there. Wow, that's amazing. That's how long it took to get a charge going. So, okay, well, let me ask you this, though. Sure, you're right. To get a charge going, and he drove directly home, the normal way would have taken 10 minutes. I get what you're saying. But that's not what he did. His phone would have been 100% almost after driving for 50 minutes all the way down here like this and then up here. You get what I'm saying? His phone was turned on at a different time. I believe these are pings down here. Some of these. Right? So he's driving down. I think his phone from 450 to 526. That's when he turned his phone on. So he was already down in this area. Turns it on because now he's got to make some weird cross-country drive through here and then goes up. Are you guys even paying attention to what I'm saying? It doesn't seem like it. Yeah, it's like you're just randomly throwing stuff out that it has nothing to do with what we're talking about. All right. Anyways, Brian's knife was in the car and security guard was holding it. Okay. Brian put his phone on charge when he left the parking lot, and he switched it back on when... I actually think this is probably just some troll that put this out there and just threw something together. And when he was near his apartment, because that's how long it took to get the charge going. Brian's knife was in the car, and the security guard was holding it because he has used it to chop the cocaine lines. Really? A K-bar knife? Yes, I said cocaine because Brian stopped heroin years back and substituted the drug with cocaine. He has tried so hard to stop everything, but he's an idiot. I mean, addict. Well, both, really. And he has bad migraines, so the cocaine actually helps him. He had no idea security guard was going to do what he did, and he just wanted to teach the security guard a lesson by leaving him behind. Brian actually feels terrible that he left this maniac behind. But it's not his fault, everybody. You people need to stop with these singing videos and funny pictures of Brian and my dad. See that? And my dad, right? So that's the sister. Or we will sue you for everything you have. I think you should be sued for such a ludicrous article that you thing that you wrote here, if indeed that is you typing them. All of you just get a life and stop playing Facebook detective because you're just a bunch of bored losers that have no morals. Well, the fact that you believe this story means that you match exactly what you just said to everybody else if this is indeed written by you. Okay? That's one of the dumbest... I guarantee it, though. There's people going, man, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It makes no sense. Nothing in there made sense. There isn't one bit of that made sense. You didn't explain in there why they would always go to 1122 parking lot to do drugs all the time. Then you didn't explain why Brian drove a 50-minute route to get home after the murders. Okay. Yeah, I didn't think so. Hey, look at that. 765 is sitting here. When did you call in? Hello? $765. I don't even know what that is. I'm going to mute the person. Let's see. What notebook is that? Oh, not. Oh, wait, I think I have. Oh, there it is. No, I'm going to just send them out in the order I gave them. Yeah. Don't worry about it. So, I don't know. I think that one's just an absolute joke. And they sort of gave away, maybe accidentally, who they were. But, man, I'd be surprised If somebody actually believed, it would put that out as a family member. Is there anybody out there that believes anything about this right here? I think there are, because what it is there's people that thought it was drug related early on, and they just can't let it go. They got to keep thinking that's got to be drug related somehow. You'd have to have a brain that doesn't work if you think this is legitimate here. It doesn't match anything. They were hoping it would explain all the 13 other trips that he made out there. Because guess what he was doing on all of those? He drove around town and drove right into 1122's parking lot to do coke with his buddy. Yeah. Oh yeah, the cart with the Zena's mom or something. Jeez. Yeah, that's what I hope it is, Nicole. Yeah. But it was written in a way that seemed like, you know, they're probably just laughing, going, we got all these people to talk about it. But nobody debunked it like I did. So there you go. Yeah, that's, well, in the article before he tried to explain it. That doesn't make any sense. Like, okay, there's a knife sheath, and somehow DNA got on it from a time that he was standing next to some other guy with a sheath that also had a white Elantra that was borrowing your phone? Oh. Huh. Well, why were you leaving your house at 2:50 in the morning, Brian? On the same morning that they were killed. Where did you go? Can you tell us where you went? Well, here's where I went. I went for a long drive, but I turned off my phone because I don't really have a reason. I don't really have a reason that I turned off my phone. There's nothing he can say, man. It is just, it's game over. That is enough, right? If I was on a jury and what we're seeing right here, I wouldn't give him the death penalty, but I'd convict him of murder, what we have right now. Now, if they can tie even more stuff in there, then it's the death penalty. But you guys know it's got to be a certain pieces of information. This is enough for me to go, yep, he's the killer. Yep. I wouldn't be one of the juries that was stuck, like, oh, well, it is possible that a UFO was there. You never know. I mean, well, I guess it is possible. Yeah, I mean, just think about it. God, it's like so many things. A criminology student for doctorate. He comes all the way over there. He's in town 12 or 13 times. His phone was. Now, the phone number that he gave them on one of the times he was pulled over is the phone number that they got historical ping information for, including the night of the murders. And he leaves Pullman, getting close to 3 o'clock. And then he's driving around at 3:29 and passes the house 3 different times. And then at 4:04, I explained that earlier, he's having trouble parking at one time, does a 3-point turn, and then drives back in that direction. We don't know exactly where he went, but I'm assuming he went back behind, up on the hill behind the house there. And then the car, the same Elantra, is seen on a camera speeding away at 4:20 from the area. And then the car and his phone, it turns back on sometime around 4:50, but it's way down south, heading towards Janice, then over to Uniontown, and then up north, etc., etc., etc. Hey, thanks, the Mike D Experience. Thanks for your support of the channel. Appreciate it. I'm Mike D and I get respect. That's right. God, tonight I just wasn't so mean. I needed to find a time where I threw myself in prison. I worry about him laying the tracks for pings by driving that route many times at the same hour. Well, we don't know if he did that. They didn't say that he did that. I'm not struggling with any of that. Some of these people are just clueless. They think they're really smart, and they don't think through all of the things. You know, they just don't do it. Yeah, don't be so nervous and skeptical. That's right. You thought I was pretty mean, but wait, why'd you throw me in jail, Terry? What did I do this time? I was so mean, Gray. I mean, you did throw me in prison. I don't know if I'd make it out tonight. $717. Hello. Oh. 765. I'm going to remove that one. I don't know what that is. Yeah. I don't think I'd make it out. 8675309. I could give it a shot, though. I mean, you guys usually just throw me in for good measure. Because there's got to be a point where I was mean today. Alright? So here it is. Oh my God, that's from the guy. Who's this one? Oh, that's Mike D's in prison. How about we throw 8675309 in prison? Is that you in the picture there, by the way? I can't tell because you're behind the prison there. poor Mike D. He was tossing the brink. Yeah. I don't know which one of these turns that off. Oh, there we go. I'll be in prison. I am. I was thrown in there for good measure. See what I told you? 86753. So that is you in the picture there? You can barely see it. It's like the smallest thing in the world. Send me the real one, okay? You don't like what? Oh, that you were in prison? You're not in prison anymore. Oh, hey, look at that. No bail, so now we're at 0. Because of Billy Juliana, who just loves seeing me languish in prison for days. Oh, and then Frazzled Cat busted that out with the 10. And then Melanie, thank you very much. Oh, and then boom, look at you guys. Mary Crossley. Man, I'm gonna go get a hotel, some prime rib.
No bail.
Gonna be
good measure.
Good times. Sarita. No, wait. Yeah, no bail for good measure. I'll chip in for your bail.
Chewbacca? I'll be Chewbacca if you want me to.
Bail money.
Thank you, Miranda Lee. You send me back in some more prison? I'm gonna throw you back into prison. One canvas shoe. Wow, so I'm gonna limp around? Is that what you're saying? Thank you, Miranda Lee, Sarita, and Mary Crosley, and 8675309. The Mike D Experience. I've been exonerated, but now you must do your time. Yeah.
I've been exonerated, but now you must do your time.
No, I didn't make the dancing taco. I did the UFO one that comes by. Here, where's that prison? There, putting you back in there.
Canvas shoe.
Plus, let's put Charisma's in there now. Jen H is in there. Oh, look at Jen H is in prison. Plato, who's just a tree. Oh, let's put... wait, here we go, everybody. This guy, he's in there for a long time, man. Yeah, good old Ivan. He's never making it out of there. I could actually put this on a live stream for a month, and there wouldn't be a nickel that comes in to get Ivan out of prison. Although he might try to bail himself out, but that's what would happen. Oh, you're framed, no ramen. Oh, boy. You've been good. Okay, yeah, you've been better tonight, right, Ivan? Free the freaks, Holly said. All right. We'll free him. We'll free Ivan. Oh, and then you're in there now, but let me close it down. All right, there we go. You can toss me in jail and see if it helps. I don't know. You don't have. There's no pictures, just an M. You know what we should do is put KK in there. Ah, there she is. Hey, we should put Zozo and KK in at the same time. They'd be like sisters or something. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Oh boy. Well, we got some more time. Baby, do you have any questions? Anything about me or whatever the hell you want to know? Free me, she said. Oh, we could do KK, Melanie, and Zozo at the same time.
Free me.
You're free. Okay, so you got freed.
For KK and Zozo.
True crime. I always watch true crime. Didn't everybody watch? I used to watch Bill Curtis all the time, and Forensic Files, and all those things. But what finally got me into what I'm doing now, I guess you'd say, was probably the Jodi Arias case. I'd followed everything though before that, OJ and Tot Mom. I think that was right around the same time. Yeah, you gotta love Bill Curtis, right? He's got the best narration voice that there is. It's unbelievable. Well, Mike Rowe's pretty good too. I mean, they're next to me. They're really good. Gray was you are. What does that mean? Gray was you are personal best trout. Wike. Oh, I caught a 19-inch native rainbow on the Metolius River. That was pretty cool. And then I also caught a 19-inch brown trout on the Deschutes. Those are the biggest two. Haven't I done Hey Min Lee? Hey, by the way, 8675309, did you ever get an update on that one? Remember that one? It was like a Korean girl that, like, they found dead by train tracks or something, or it just there was so little information on it. Maybe I might have to do that one. That looks pretty interesting. Here's the Heyman Lee one. Oh, you can't see it. I'm still in prison. Sorry. You guys bailed me out a long time ago, but I was still hanging out in there, throwing the rest of you in prison. She was born in South Korea in 1980, immigrated with her mother, Yoon Kim, and her brother, Young Lee, to the United States in 1992 to live with their grandparents. Lee attended the magnet program at... It seems like I've done this one. I don't know why. It just... Let me see. Lee disappeared January 13th, 1999. Her family reported her missing after she failed to pick up her younger cousin with daycare around 3:15. Lee attended Woodlawn High School that day and had been seen by several people leaving the campus. Yeah, so it was on a campus, right? Wasn't there this guy that, like, was driving by or something and picked her up? Lee's partially buried body was discovered by a passerby in Lincoln Park in Baltimore on February 9th. Police became focused on... God, it just feels like I've done this one. Have I done this one? What do you mean? Oh, this is the... that case. Syed Adnan, is that one? Oh, that's that one. Okay, yeah, I've done it. I don't know if I've ever totally covered it, but I was familiar with it. Well, he's been completely exonerated, right? At this point. Oops. The hell screen is that? On November 25, 2019, the Supreme Court of the United States rejected Syed's appeal for a new trial. Yeah, they don't have the update in here, I don't think. Oh, there it is. On March 10th, 2022, the Baltimore City State Attorney signed onto a motion filed by Syed's defense attorney requesting the court order new DNA testing on Lee's clothing, shoes, and rape kit. The joint motion stated that those items had never been tested for DNA. On March 14th, a city judge ordered that the Baltimore police send evidence of the forensic analysis crime lab. Let's see. In May of 2008, prosecutors from Baltimore investigated Syed's case, declaring that new evidence they uncovered undermined Syed's conviction. So does that mean they have DNA from the actual perpetrator And if they do, I mean, get going on the genetic genealogy. They filed a motion on September 15, 2022 to vacate his conviction, citing Brady violation from a prosecutor who worked on the case decades ago. On September 19th, Circuit Court Judge Melissa Finn vacated Syed's conviction. He was released from prison the same day. On October 11th, prosecutors filed nolle prosequi with the court to drop all charges against him. So what do they have in the case now, though? I mean, are they have DNA that didn't match him? Is that what the deal is? I hadn't followed it after that. I knew that he was released. I thought, wow, I was like, whoa. Because even the person that did the Serial podcast wasn't sure, you know. There were times where she would say, I don't know, he's a little dicey on this and that. And thank you, Jamie. Huh. Well, I mean, there must be a reason. Hey, look at that by Gollenvern. 10 members. Well, the subject is we're about done with the show, Tanya. Look at all those new members out there. We got 10, Monday Lisa, probably people, some of them hate my guts, but Bad Mojo, and 5678, and Bella Explores Life, and Patricia Aria, and Dre, and Brian Daniel, and A. Neil. So for those of you out of those 10 that like it here, welcome. For the rest of you trolls who got the memberships, go to hell. Okay. Let's see. Second friend I have had from the area that met an untimely and suspicious demise. So let's see. Out of the people who just got those memberships, let's see. So we got Tanya. All right, Tanya. She said, look it. Okay, good. That means something. I haven't seen a thanks yet from anybody. Okay, yeah, none of the other ones have said anything yet. Let's see if Monday Lisa said something. Interesting. Nope, nothing there. How about Hypnotio's stream? Did you say thank you to getting that? You guys have about 10 seconds to say thank you to the person who bought it, or I'm going to start hiding you regardless of getting it. Let's see. Then we've got Bad Mojo. I think I've seen you around here. And 5678 and 56. Oh, that's what I say at the end of the shows. Well, it's true, right? Like, they just get free memberships, and they don't say thank you to the person who gave them to you. Yeah, that just means they were trolls, and they're like, suck. Oh, yeah. But I mean, why not just test the DNA that exonerated Syed, and then you got the answer, right? Yeah, what's going on? Bella Explores Life. Are you out there, Bella Explores Life? How about saying thank you to the person up there, Gollenvern, who bought you guys memberships? And Patricia Aria, are you there? Maybe, let her know, hey, thank you. And God, see, isn't it amazing? Anyways, thank you very much, Gollenvern. Sorry that probably some trolls got it. Right. What do you mean they can't type? 10 people can't type in a row? Wow, that'd be weird. All right. Anyways, you guys, I'm gonna get out of here. I hope you found the show interesting tonight, at least. I don't know if there's anybody on a call. I'll answer. Oh, there's one there. 717. You're on.
Hello.
Hello. Who's this?
Hey, Gray. It's Kayla. I was just calling. I don't know. I don't even know what I want to talk about. But one of the things that stood out to me was that stupid post that you read from Facebook, that anonymous post. I'm in the group that that it was posted in, and from what I read, somebody like debunked it and said that somebody from the UK posted it. So I don't remember like
how would they know that? How would they know that? There isn't.
I think they were just looking at the verbiage that was used for the most part.
The verbiage, okay.
But it made sense because like the post itself didn't make any sense and wouldn't make any sense as it applies to the case itself. So like obviously it's somebody who's just trying to, you know.
Well, what was the verbiage that they pointed out being UK? I didn't see anything like that.
Specifically like the use of the word flat. That's like not common over here. So like the post that like they had the anonymous post up and then it was like a screenshot of that and somebody kind of broke it down and was like,
what was the
naming
word?
Basically everything you said about how it didn't make sense, but then pointing out that that's common. Like somebody from the UK was saying like, you know, everybody from America is saying how this doesn't make sense, but that's how we speak over here.
Well, what was the word that you were saying? I don't see it in there. What was it?
It was, I think they used it to describe the battery maybe of the phone. They said it was flat instead of like dead.
I see.
Which is like I've never heard anybody say that before. So, I don't know. They were just kind of saying, yeah, that's bogus. Like, there's no way that's anybody that's related to him. But I mean, the post itself, obviously, it's bogus just based off.
Oh, yeah, it's ridiculous.
What it said.
I mean, yeah, it's like
but
somebody's attempt to put it out there, but as soon as you read it, I mean, if it was real, it's ludicrous. But it sounds like somebody that was trying to. Maybe just being a troll to see how many people would respond to it. I guess I caved into it. I just wanted to go over it anyways, just to show you how easy it is to debunk a lot of stuff that's out there.
Right. But I think the part that like scared me the most was how many people were commenting saying like, no, that's definitely real. He's probably innocent and they're probably just accusing him of something he had no part in. And like everybody was buying into it. So it's like scary because like the more... I don't know, the more like people are posting things about the case, it's like more and more people are popping up like all of a sudden he's probably not guilty and all of a sudden we probably have the wrong guy. And like it's just crazy how easily people can change their opinion about something just based off of what other people are posting on the internet.
Well, I think it's actually scary. I mean, that's exactly what I'm saying. See, these people all serve on juries, you know, so these are the same morons that would show up on a jury and probably vote somebody who's guilty or believe some crazy story a defense attorney puts out there because their brain just doesn't allow them to think logically. I mean, it's amazing.
I know, yeah.
But people want
that's
people...
Scary. But there's also another pretty, like, I don't know, I just found the channel, but there's a pretty well-known, I guess, YouTube channel also out there that's kind of like, at first, they made it seem like they were just kind of trying to say, like, oh, these are, like, potential things, like, his defense could use to help him out or whatever. And then the conversation kind of shifted, and now it's, like, three or four 2-hour episode-long stories about, like, why he could actually be innocent. So it kind of shifted from, like, oh, let's just, like, discuss this real quick to, like, really thought-out, in-depth, thorough, like, this is a setup, this is a cover-up.
You know why they do that? The reason they do that is because everybody thinks he's guilty. So why not be? There's 40%. So let's say 100% of people. Let's just say you have a poll of 100% of the people, right? Obviously, and then out of those people, 70% are like, oh man, this guy's guilty, and you have 100 creators all talking about, oh, he's guilty. But now the hero for those other 30% pops up. You know, the other 30 that think he might be innocent, and now he's got this massive crowd watching complete trash because that's what is going to sell, right? He just grabbed a huge chunk of the market and is a singular force. Now you'll see that there'll be other people that go, oh, what a great racket. I'm going to jump in there too, and I'll start making the same kind of videos. You know, you watch, it's going to happen.
I know, that's why I'm like, I don't know. I used to kind of try and tune into like a bunch of different channels, but now that like when, like for instance, when he first, like they first made an arrest, like 100% of everybody was like, oh, this is definitely him. It all makes sense and stuff like that. And then as it died down a little bit, because you know, like he was arrested and they're waiting for trial and like all this other stuff, they just kind of like had to come up with a story of some sort to like keep themselves in the spotlight. But it's not just like that. It's just like people are actually buying into it. Like that's terrifying.
Is it
It's
female
wild.
or is it a?
But I guess I was wondering though. So I know that like if it's a high profile case, they'll like, you know, move counties or whatever. But like this is like, I'm all the way in Pennsylvania, and I mean he was arrested here. But besides the point, like the other side of the country, like it's a well-known case. So will they like summon jurors from outside of the state, or do the jurors also have to be from Idaho?
I think normally you have to have it in your state, so they probably just will find another town in Idaho maybe, because it's kind of a small population there.
Yeah, it'll be, I don't know, I'll be surprised if they're able to find anybody who doesn't already have, you know, their own opinion that's in the state or relatively close by. But
yeah, I mean,
I
people
don't
can
know.
have their opinion, but they like you if you say something like, you know, you might have your thoughts on a case, but are you willing to listen to evidence and you can change your mind? And then people go, yeah. Thank you,
Right.
CG up there. Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, I think the other thing I was going to ask you is, did you watch the Dateline episode on this case? I just found out there was one. I didn't even know there was
No, I haven't
one
seen it
until
yet. I
earlier
heard it's pretty
tonight.
good, but I was going to check it out later.
Okay, yeah, I was going to do the same.
Well,
I
it's
just didn't know if you
2020.
saw it.
I don't think it was Dateline.
Okay.
2020 is the show. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, there's apparently a lot of good. There was, I mean, the only thing I read so far was about that party that had like 150 people there, and that's what everybody's talking about. But it sounded like it was pretty informative.
hmm I mean, a party at that house on a different day.
Yeah, they're talking about this party. There was a party the Friday before the murders that had like 150 people in attendance.
And so, what's the point of that, though?
That's kind of what everybody was asking, and they were kind of saying just like, oh, well, you know, they could argue that he was there and he accidentally forgot his sheath when he left.
Oh God! Oh jeez.
Yeah. But I mean, that's what everybody's saying. You know, like, oh, that's like a lot of people. They could do this, and that, and blah blah blah. And
So he
DNA,
left his. He accidentally
but it's like
left.
they
Let me
already
say
knew
this.
there was a
So
lot of DNA.
he accidentally left the sheath there, and the two girls never made their bed, and Madison never made her bed for 2 weeks, and it was just sitting on the top of the
It
bed
was
next
the
to
11th,
her.
though. It was 2 days.
Okay.
But still, totally.
Yeah,
crazy.
but it's ludicrous. So
But
it's
there
just
was a
sitting on
funeral
the
that
bed
night,
the whole time.
Yeah, she must have slept on it or something, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just, yeah. I don't know. They're just, I think they just, it's like people are looking for a reason to try and say that he's innocent or that he's got like this, I don't know, team of people working with him. And I don't know. It's just strange how quickly everybody's
No, that's how it works.
opinions are.
That's how it works. So it always works that way. Once somebody's arrested, people, they're really skeptical against law enforcement, just in general, a lot of people. So they think, how can, they always start talking about how something was staged or it's a setup or, you got this going on. And it just always turns out to be, it's just total crap. But that's what people like to believe in.
I don't see why. That would make things more terrifying to me. Like if it was really like that. This makes sense though. I mean, I'm not saying like drug addiction or mental health is any excuse. Like I'm 5 years sober from a drug addiction myself. So like I understand how the brain of an addict works. But so I'm not saying that would
what makes
that
sense?
would
What makes
necessarily
sense?
Make him do it or whatever.
You said what makes sense though?
I'm saying like we're all looking at what he's done and why he's done it from the viewpoint of like somebody of sound mind. So like what we're looking at him like he's such a dumbass, like he doesn't make any sense, like this is dumb. And that is accurate to us because we're normal people. But like if you look at him for what he actually is, like what he's doing is like just it makes sense for the type of person he is. Like he's a narcissist. He's probably got a boatload of psych diagnoses that he's not treated for, or that he's wrongly treated for, and he's just, I know that combined with, you know, what he studies and what he's obsessed with and all of that, it's like the perfect combination to create somebody like him. So, like, I'm not saying it's a justification, but it does explain, like, what, like, you know, no normal person's going to be like, oh, let me just go, like, stab 4 people to death and, you know, let's just do that on this, like, Saturday night. You know what I mean? Like, his brain is not wired the same way ours is. So there's why would he leave the sheets? Why would he do this? Why would he do that? Like, he's not thinking the way we are. So, of course, you can't make sense of the choices he's made. But when you look at it through a lens of, like, all of the probable diagnoses he has, like, you know, it's not too far off to assume that he would absolutely do something like this in this way, you know. Like, it's more like he wants the attention, he wants the recognition, and he also is just a fucking, like, lunatic who I think he's definitely an incel for sure, like, or a narcissist. I don't know. He's given off so many weird vibes, and then it's also so many people that say they know him.
I think the whole
like,
narcissist thing is so overused by people on social media. The phrase narcissist. Everybody's a narcissist. How about, because it's like they heard it on a show, so everybody has to say it. They hear it on a show, so now they're all experts on who's a narcissist and who isn't. So they say it over and over and over and over again. It just gets really old. I mean, there's other diagnoses out there, right? Like, there's other things that people are. I'm not talking about you specifically, but you just hear it all the time. It gets really old, you know.
Yeah. I mean, even I was just, like, looking into different, like, statements made about him and different articles written about him and stuff. Like, he definitely has, like, a grandiosity complex. So he thinks he's, like, superior to everything and everyone. I get, like, that from him based on what I read. And, like, he could have some kind of, like, dissociative identity disorder or something like that. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of possibilities, but I don't know what meds he's on. Everybody's talking about meds that he takes, but I never actually got any kind of, like, confirmation or read anything that said what he's on. But even, like, antipsychotics and stimulants and stuff like that they use to treat stuff like that could cause somebody to go off or could contribute, I should say, to somebody doing the things that he's being accused of doing. So I just think it's a lot more complex than we realize, but I definitely think it's, like, spot on. Like, they have the right guy. It's just a matter of, like, outsmarting him and his attorney. So I don't know. I read she's pretty good too. Pretty good at what she does.
Yeah. So, all right.
We'll see.
Well, what's your name again? Have you called in before?
Yes, twice actually, but we're not going to talk about that because if I say it, you're going to make fun of me, and I'm not. You've been so nice tonight.
Okay, all right.
But I'll say it though. The first time I called in, it was about a freaking spirit box.
Oh God. Oh jeez.
But it was, it was fine. It didn't go badly. I wasn't like,
That wasn't terrible. I remember that. It wasn't bad. I just, I mean.
Yeah, I just had, that was.
But hold on a second. What do you hear right here?
Oh my God! You know what?
I'm just kidding.
One night, you actually, like, somehow turned that into exactly what would relate to what you were talking about, and now I can't unhear it, but I can't remember what you were talking about.
Well, it's easy to do, because all you have to do is come up with
you said something about a hut or something.
Well, what you do is you come up with a story. You view a case rationally. Like, for example, let me just tell you guys something. Wouldn't I be incredible at a spirit box reading? Because I would go over the case the way I already do it, right? Except I wouldn't do it on the air. I would already kind of go through it and sort of figure things out. Then I would play the spirit box, and lo and behold, the comments like, I'd say, look, it says it's in a house right there. Did you hear that? It says, in a house right. It's in a house right there. And look at it. It's on a street. Nobody Street. It's called Nobody Street. It's right there. Look how it says Nobody Street. And I would just go through the whole thing and assign all of the things that I figured out to a spirit box. And I would people would be like, oh my God, I didn't used to believe in spirit boxes, but this guy Gray, boy, he's so good at it. It's amazing. Yeah.
And that's how your subscribers would just
They'd leave
you
in
know,
droves.
triple in size.
No, the ones that are here right now would leave immediately, and maybe I'd have to start up all over again with a whole new set of crazy people.
Never change what you're doing, though, because
Yeah.
you're the only person at this point. Like, I don't know, maybe one other YouTuber has a little bit of like common sense left, but I don't know. I appreciate the fact that you're also looking to bring bring some attention to other cases now, because there's, I don't know, at this point it just seems like everybody's grasping at straws and trying to talk about anything, and they spent an hour talking about the razor marks on his face the other day, and I'm like, what?
Yeah,
why?
and guess
You know
what?
I mean?
They were
Like,
razor
talk about a
marks. They
case
said
that
that.
needs attention.
They were razor marks, just like we said. So
Yeah,
again,
just
but
like-
look
yeah,
at that.
just
But you
like
know what's
anybody
weird is
would.
I didn't even know that it was razor. But here's what happened. Watch, listen. At a hut. Who's at a hut? Razor, razor. Well, you hear that? Razor, razor. Don't little buddy. Ooh. You could definitely hear it say razor in there. Did you hear that?
100%.
Yeah, it was right there in the middle.
100%.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, I appreciate you calling in and being a good sport. Okay.
Anytime.
And interesting stuff. Anyways. All right. Thanks for calling in. Have a good one.
Yep. Have a good night.
Bye. Yeah, you guys could hear it, right? It definitely said that in there. Razor mark, razor mark. One more time. Wait, I heard hey hum in there. Did you hear that? Man, but catch it. Ooh. All right, 310. You're on.
Hey, Gray, it's Mike. How are you, sir?
Hey, what's going on?
Okay, so you're going to think I'm out there and crazy, but my
I
brother's
sure will.
theory is
I sure will.
that they came in from the roof. That's how they surprised everybody.
No, you mean roof, right?
The roof. Yeah, the roof.
Not
Him
roof.
and his dad,
What the hell's a
that's
roof?
What he thinks.
Yeah, what's that?
My brother thinks that they came in from the roof. Him and his dad.
Let me ask you something though.
from
Do you
mental-
do you think it was via helicopter or parachuted
No, they
in, maybe
climbed on it
skydive?
from a tree? From a tree.
Oh, that's interesting because there's not one tree that even comes close to touching the roof.
Well, somehow
of
they
that house.
climbed on the roof. Well, my brother's the one who told me this.
Oh, well, as long as your brother
thinks him
told
and
you,
his
my
dad-
God, it must be true if your brother told you. Right?
No, but he's usually not wrong about this stuff.
Oh, okay.
Not usually.
So
Hey,
do you
Greg,
think? Let me ask you
follows
this: Do you think it's possible that Bryan Kohberger dressed up as Santa Claus and went through the chimney?
No.
Oh, you just wait a minute. You just said ho ho ho.
No, he didn't.
I heard him. You
He
guys
didn't
heard him
come
say
through
ho
the
ho ho,
roof.
didn't you? You said
No,
ho ho.
They're not saying they came through the roof. He climbed down on the side, but he was hiding in wait on the roof with his dad.
Oh wow, that's crazy. Wow. So his dad drove the 3,000 miles a month earlier. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, and they figured. What my brother thinks is that the dad lowered him down with rope, maybe. You don't think that's possible?
Well, anything is possible, right? Like the dad could have driven over there. They went to the store. He bought some rope, lowered it down, and pulled his son up to the roof. Even though they could have walked through the sliding glass door, it just made it more of an adventurous trip. How did they get inside the house from the roof? Did they lower down to
I guess they
Kaylee's
lowered
room?
him-
Or
They lowered him down somehow.
to where? To where though? Why go onto the roof just to have the experience of lowering somebody down? Because there's no technical reason that you'd do that. What would be the reason to do
Well,
that?
they were hiding, waiting for the right time. Because maybe being on the roof, they can hear everything going on inside.
Oh, so wait a minute. So they brought like cups with them and put it on the top of the building and then turn their ear and listen to it. Is that what you're saying?
Well, they probably don't even have to have cups. Just put your ear down on the
How do you
roof.
hear somebody on the second floor on the roof through the roof? I mean, like they're on the second floor. How'd that happen?
Well,
Good
unless
point.
they
Good
dropped
point.
microphones.
Okay. Oh, maybe they did the thing where you know those little cups you can build where you make it tight, and then you can talk through the one cup to another by having a string that's tight.
Well, Ray, I don't know how they did it technically, but
Oh.
Gray, here's what I'm telling you. My brother's convinced that they were him and his dad were in a mental institution, escaped, and got on top of that roof and were lowered in.
That's good stuff. Hey, thanks I know you're just goofing around here, but yeah.
My brother follows these cases.
Oh, yeah, gives a shit. Your brother should never follow another case again. He thinks his
he follows you every day.
He thinks his dad and his son escaped from a mental institution, drove there. I guess they would have to be mentally ill to then climb up on the roof and sit there. What they must have brought lawn chairs up with them and some Coors Light, and they sat there and listened for a while, right? And then eventually they got quiet, and one of them lowered the other one down. They probably even had a boombox playing the Mission Impossible music as they lowered this person. Don't you think?
Well, I mean, the rest of the theory is good. I bet you. The rest of the theory is good. The rope.
No, look at none of that theory is good. All right.
Well, how do you think they got in the house? Or how do you think they
just walked in?
Go in?
The sliding glass door on the second floor.
But I don't know. I think we're missing a piece here. And my brother watched.
Oh, we're missing a piece. We're missing a lot of pieces here. We're missing an entire novel of pieces. This is like an entire jigsaw puzzle of pieces. How about that? That's a better analogy there.
Well, yeah. They got the drop on them somehow. That's 4 people,
Yeah.
And you have to be mental to do something like that, so it all falls into place. They escaped from a mental institution, and then they climbed up on the roof, waited till the coast was clear, and then got the drop on them.
And let me ask you, did they swing in? Like, was it like they're 2 feet forward and they crashed through? A little bit like on Die Hard. Remember that when he swung from the fire hose to get back into the building? But he had to shoot out the window to get through because it was hard glass. Remember that?
So, Gray, what my brother wanted me to ask you was to put your superpowers into doing a drawing of how they climbed down from the roof.
Oh, God.
And got in. Can you do that drawing?
No. I can't.
Well, don't you want to solve this case?
I sure do, but that's not going to solve it. And I don't really look to solve cases. I look to add clarity to what's known and see if that helps people visualize what's going on. So there's cases I've helped where like I make something and like I'll hear from somebody, maybe a law enforcement person or something, and but like in general we don't solve the cases. Like we help add clarity, and sometimes things we do help them, but we don't solve them. Very rare.
I think you solved this one. That's what my brother told me. I think you did.
How come you keep saying your brother? Hey, wait, what's your name, by the way?
Mike.
Yeah, you said Mike, but I mean, are you sure it's really Mike? I mean, there's a lot of Mikes out there.
Yeah, it's Mike. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't watch every night. My brother does.
Okay. Well, if your brother watches every night, what would make him think that I would entertain and be interested in like people coming on the roof and getting in the house somehow like that?
Well, he thinks if you draw it up, you're gonna solve the missing piece, find the missing piece.
Oh, there it is on the screen. Look at that. There is the roof. Okay, so they came on the roof right there, and they were just I don't know. That just doesn't make any sense to me. Sorry, but hey, I appreciate you calling in, man. Oh
man, we love the show. Great.
All right, have a good one. See you later.
All right, you too.
Bye bye. I'm having a hard time. Like, I don't know if... I think that was just goofy, I sure hope so. They laughed a couple times, too, so I think they knew it. Yeah, I mean, his brother, boy, he's all over it. Thanks, Jamie and Brenda Ivy. Ugh. Well, I think that's going to do it now, finally. All right, here we go. Thank you. Or welcome to all the new channel members out there. There's quite a few of them. So welcome here. I think Zany and Nicole were the first two. Thank you, Elaine Talling, Zanny Haas Detler, Cindy Leon, Georgina Stoliker, The Mike D Experience, Jody William, Kubi, Georgina Stoliker, Kathy Freidenmaker, Cindy Leon, Allie Cake with a cat eye, new member Sonjo, Heidi Ho, Ben Hills, as in Ben Hill Road, is that what that goes? And Carly S. All About the Shade, Loretta Reyes, Nona 617, 8675309. Where is that?
Hey, Allah, hey, Allah,
Alifair M. Alifair M again with a cat eye. Sherlock Hemlock. Melissa South. S.O. Ben Hills. Terry Shuford. Cindy Leon, 29 months. Christy Quasi. Mel Moore. Brianna, 25. Capocino. Capocino. Bucolic Buffalo. Zany Hostetler. Or maybe it's Zanny. The Mike D Experience. Eugenie. Tosh. Cat Eye. Nicole. Georgina Stoliker. Trish Escaped. Heather B. Simple Life Days. The Mike D Experience. Billy Juliana. Cindy Leon. Frazzled Cat. Melanie. Mary Crosley. Sarita. Miranda Lee. 8675309. The Mike D Experience. 8675309. Holly Rose. KK. Melanie. Jamie. Scoutin' Dude. CG again. Studio Headphones, a new member. The Goon, a new member. Let's see where we at here. Studio Headphones. Beth Endicott. Jamie. Brenda Ivy. Kathy Shiflett. And Beth Endicott. Thank you. Put that one back in there. Ding, 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 ding. All right. And then there was did any of those people ever say thank you, by the way, that got the channel memberships? Did anybody notice any of them? Or anyway, thank you, Golan Vern, for doing that. That was very nice of you. Yeah, a couple did. Okay, good for them. Maybe the other ones just thought they were owed it. You know, you never know. Oh, and thanks to Patricia Aria on Cash App. Put you in on the spin here. And I think I've got everybody that was on. Yeah, so Amita, thank you so much again for very generous support there. Thank you. Sandra Owen. V-Dub, thank you very much. Channy M, thank you. And also to Kristen Peterson. So thank you. I got all you guys in there for the notebook too. Now in a couple weeks, well, I think they're coming out on the 16th. So if you haven't got a notebook by the end of the month and you're supposed to have gotten one, let me know. And then, send me, let me know, where you sent it in or something so I can go check it. But yeah, the new batch is coming soon. So there you go, everybody. Well, thank you all so much for being here tonight. Hope it was mildly interesting. I'm working currently. So this is how it works for me when I build these 3D models. So like here's this character, and I bring in a program called Poser, just sort of a general look of the, like these are all the walls and everything, and I kind of know what it looks like by having the model open. And then I have to build I use the orthogonal view, so there's no, it's just like that. And like this is the first one here that I'm going to be making, because what I'm going to do in my theory here is that the killer is going to walk in like this, right? Going to walk in through the kitchen, sliding glass door, and then just going to start heading up the stairs, and they make it up to about right here. And this is the time where maybe Ethan and Zaina are leaving, and Zaina's in front because she's going to unlock the door and he's going to go out. They're right here, and she goes, "Hey, somebody's here." And then right at that time, he turns around and confronts both of them and ends up where they end up being killed back in this area because they retreat. Okay, then, but he thinks that Zaina's dead. Then he goes back up the stairs, kills Madison and Kaylee over here. Then, first he looks into Kaylee's room, doesn't find her, and then goes this way, kills Madison and Kaylee here. Then he exits back out like this, and then goes down the stairs and is going to leave, but then hears Zaina still making sounds. So he goes back over here. She's maybe on the bed, kills her, throws her on the floor. That's where you get the thud sound. There was the whimpering, whining, the crying sound. Then he leaves, walks just like this, and then out of this room is where Dylan had the door open and saw him walk right like this, and then goes back out the door. That's the one theory that I'm going to put out there that's not standard. Then the ones after that will be the standard one, where you go upstairs first, and that, like that. So that's going to be my the non-standard version. Who knows if it'll be accurate? Probably not. Probably more accurate that he went upstairs first, and then after that, after Zaina and Ethan had 17 minutes to eat a burger, makes total sense. He's leaving. That's when he's coming down the stairs. Then a confrontation happens. That might even have been, "Hey, somebody's here," as they're coming down the stairs. Things happen in this area. Boom, they're killed. And then, the part that keeps making me think what I've always been saying recently is the part about where he says, "I'm going to help you." Let me see, where's that phrasing? "It's okay, I'm going to help you." So that would only happen, Ethan's not going to be saying that. It just doesn't make any sense that he would say that. He's been mortally attacked. So it's the killer likely saying that. And if he's saying that, then that means that he's coming back again. It's not like he's been sitting there stabbing them and is going to calmly say, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." This would be somebody returning, and the person's frightened and they're dying and they're there, but he doesn't want them to scream again or make any more noise. So he says, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." Hell, he may have even taken his mask off his face for that moment just to change up the look for a second. So anyways, that's why I put that in there, because there's something about that. I can't imagine Ethan saying, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." Because the attack would have been really fast. There isn't time to be saying that unless it's later. Okay, so that's where I come up with that. We'll see how it plays. I'm going to do multiple camera angles. I'm going to have it where you can see it from Dylan's point of view, the different motions. Maybe we'll have to come up with, you guys, or I could probably find audio out there somewhere on the internet and just take little clips of different things and make it sound sort of like maybe what it sounded like. We'll see how it goes, though. Right. So again, everybody, let's do the spin. tonight? How about tonight we spin for a... how about two... well, let's see. How about we'll do one... I guess we could do like one everything tumbler. Or we could do two wow just wow mugs. How about that? Let's do the I'll do a poll really quick. Question. Wow just wow 2 or all right, there you go. You can vote. Do you want the 1 or 2 wow just wow? So it'll be 2 spins, or the everything tumbler. Yeah, the tumbler's pretty sweet. For some reason, the one that I'm supposed to send Kubi, I keep like I always keep thinking I've sent it, but then I end up not. So definitely got it off today for some reason. Well, the votes want the, so far the wow just wows. Once we get to 100 votes, that's when I'm stopping. Keep going. Okay, it doesn't seem like this can get up there. So 62 votes, 61% want the wow just wow. So that's what we're doing. Yep, that's not what I was trying to do. All right, here we go. Ah, where is it? Wheel and wow, I have to reimagine Gummo. I always thought Gummo was a female. But Gummo's a male. How do I change my perception? I did, Gummo. At least I don't really remember. Are you still out camping? 8675309? Oh, you like your it was a black screen for a minute, but well, she's just in your driveway. Well, she sometimes goes camping by herself with her Wi-Fi. She's got a cool Wi-Fi car thing. Which I'll probably have in my next Subaru. Alright, here we go. This is for the first wow, just wow mug. Miranda Lee. Miranda Lee. All right, here goes another one. Look at that, it's CG right at the end there. All right, you guys. Yeah, so thank you all very much for being here tonight. I really appreciate it. All the support was awesome. Like I said earlier, hope you found it mildly interesting anyways. A little bit funny there at the end. And yeah, it's been great to see, you know, some new freaks and all the old ones still here. You know, some of them I haven't seen for a little bit. Hopefully, you know, see them back in here. Oh, it was your phone. I see it. All right. Okay. So, come on, Plato. That's mean. I'm going to throw Plato in prison. Yeah, but anyways, thank you very much, and we'll see you tomorrow. And as I always say, everybody... Oh, tomorrow I think Mike King might come on the show. Well, he's supposed to. So we'll see. It's going to be like 7 o'clock at night, my time. So maybe we can talk about the Idaho case, maybe. Yeah, pretty much the Idaho case, I would imagine. See what his thoughts are on that. So it should be good. Cool. All right, we'll see you guys later. And again, as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. And a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 5 and a 6 and a 7 and an 8 and a 9 and a 10 and 11 and a 12. There it is. Uh-oh.
What happened, Greg? Yay!
During this whole time,
Oh, there it
I have
is.
not
Yay!
seen one person. Oh my God.
That is a crime dissector, flag rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Greg is gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a protector. Fool deflector, interceptor. And I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector on his pector. With all respect, y'all, just remember I've a temper fucking check ya.
I have no agenda, I'm never tender.
And I'll serve it to you straight without the blender.
48,
and
and
in
49,
the end, I'm
and
gonna
50.
send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to
Don't you remember you told me you loved me, baby? You said you'd be coming back this way again, maybe. Oh, baby.
Would you just... Come on, you're no Karen Carpenter, okay?
Gosh, Gray, that's not very nice. I've been practicing all week.
Well, keep on practicing, man, because that was god-awful.
That's not very nice, Gray.
Oh, man. Wow. Jesus. All right. Well, we'll see you guys later. You know, it's funny. Is Mary Lou is an actual person, okay? It's weird. All right. See you guys later. Be safe out there.
I am real, Gray. What's weird about that?
Yeah, good point. Good point.
Good night, everybody. Yay!
Yes, that was good. I like that one.
Thanks, Gray.
All right. See ya. Bye-bye.